but I need
I was
to.
going to say, give me just a second. I got to run and grab something to drink.
Okay,
Falling
do
the
it.
lever would be much more dramatic.
It would, but PCs don't have levers, do they?
They could.
So it depends on how steampunk you mod it.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
In fact, right now I will Google computer with levers.
Like,
I'll probably just get like the first computer.
It's the only input is just lever.
You have to be really good at binary, okay?
It's Ada Lovelace. She's just yanking on all kinds of levers.
Ultimate gatekeeping. If you don't know binary fluently, you just can't use the computer anymore.
No.
Sorry.
What are you doing, math?
Maybe.
I mean, everything is math if you get down to it.
That's what Sinbad says.
Okay. These memes of you think you're playing one game, but you're actually playing Skyrim is getting a little heavy.
I have not seen enough of them for them to like get old. So every time I see one, I think it's just hilarious.
I've not seen a single one of them, but I avoid our own community page. So,
So there's one now that I'm looking at that says B Elder Scrolls 6 story opens, new game, start character creation, goes to campfire scene, old man is near. Let me tell you a story. Time rewinds, opening scene, hands bound, back of wagon, title appears, The Elder Scroll 5 Skyrim. Todd Howard, you did it again.
I like the Fallout.
The Fallout one's really good too.
They are, at least they're self-aware enough.
Yeah. I mean, has anyone tried it? Because every video I've seen is just someone yelling yes at Alexa until it like registers.
Christina Graham has played it, and I think she said it worked okay. So
that's hilarious.
All right, Ned, are you good?
Pull the lever.
Pull the lever. Is it lever or lever?
Lever?
Yes.
Lever's what happens when you drive away and do not let her in the car.
Wow. All right.
Great A dad joke. Thank you.
So
what a
All
start.
right. Let me know when we're live, Ned.
I have pulled the lever.
You've pulled the lever.
Wrong lever.
According to me, we're still hosting Mr. Wookie.
Okay, I believe we are live.
Twitch is always weird. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. Dadgummit. Why does it say we're playing World of Warships? We're not playing World of Warships.
Probably
I'm
somebody
gonna go.
forgot to update the metadata.
Well, yeah, probably me. I'm going to go through my intro. Can one of you two who has access to the dashboard get all that changed for me?
I'm on it.
All
right, thank you. I'm going to go right now. Sup, y'all? Welcome to another live edition of the CrossForge Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Patrick Ryan, otherwise known as Huge Cow Patty, or HCP for short. I am joined today by our usual guest. I'm going to start different. I'm going to go all the way to the other end. And I realize if you're not actually watching my Hangouts feed when I talk about the order that I'm going in, it's probably not in that order. So forgive me for that. I'm going to jump all the way down to Mr. Anafix, the only person who has been on every episode except you weren't on one, right?
The Deadpool episode.
The Deadpool episode, because you hadn't seen Deadpool
yet.
And I so that means I was the only one who had been on every episode until Saturday and Sunday. Oh, you've actually been on more episodes than me, and I'm the host.
Whoa!
No star for you, sir.
Maybe I need to be replaced. Anyway, yeah. So joined by Anafix, and then we're gonna jump over one and say hello to Clue.
Hi. Yeah, that's not the same order that I'm seeing them at.
Yeah, I know. It never is. I noticed this one day when I was watching it later, and I went, oh, not everyone has the same order that I have. So, and then next to her on my screen, we have Mr. Ned. Mr. Ned.
Greetings, everyone.
Mr. Ned could be a TV show. Mr. Ed's child. That's BoJack Horseman.
Thank you for the clarification.
That show's awful, by the way. I have a rule when I watch a new TV show. I'm going to watch 3 episodes before I make up my mind about it. I stopped that one in the middle of the pilot and was like, nope.
Okay, but pilots are unrefined.
Which is why I have this rule that I have to watch 3 episodes before I decide yay or nay. But this pilot was so
Well, so in
that
which
I'm
case
just
I would
not-
say skip the pilot because it might not be an accurate representation of what the show
Nah,
actually turns out to be.
it was a show about a talking horse. I had
I mean,
seen
that's
enough. We have 2 very special guests tonight from the Geeks Under Grace podcast and also streaming every Friday on Geeks Under Grace. Say hello to Shelly. Did I get the day right?
Yes.
Say hello to Shelly, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hello.
Well, I wasn't sure if she was still on Friday or not. So.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. So
Okay. Cool beans.
tomorrow. I don't
Oh,
know.
that's right. You'll be on tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the new head of Geeks Under Grace, Mr. Joe Morgan.
Gadzooks.
Yeah.
How's it going, Joe?
Pretty good. How was
How does
everybody?
it feel to be top dog?
Stressful.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Give
Yeah.
it a couple of years. You'll
You're so
settle in.
you're so stressed out. The green screen is only like on 1/6 room.
Yeah. I only want people to see that 1/6 of specialness.
So those of you at home, if you would like, download this video and just put something over there. Just anything.
Yeah.
I mean, not anything. You know what I mean?
Anything safe for work.
Absolutely. We are going to be talking about the last of E3. So we had an episode on Sunday. Oh, that's right. There wasn't an episode on Saturday. So Noah Assad, you have not been on more episodes than me. You've been on the same number of episodes as me. I thought there was an episode on Saturday that I wasn't on, but that's not true. So we had an episode on Sunday where we talked about EA, Bethesda.
And
What else happened Sunday? Microsoft. Oh, and then Devolver Digital was real late that night, and y'all probably didn't talk a whole lot about it, if at all, on that night. And then on Monday, I was back on. We talked about Square Enix, Ubisoft. Who else was Monday? Sony. There was a 4th one, wasn't there? Someone help me out.
Tiny Build?
The PC.
The PC, that's
Yeah.
the thing I was thinking
Okay.
of. Yeah. And then on Tuesday, of course, we had the Nintendo Direct. But since then, the show floor has been open. There have been other announcements. So we're going to talk about some of those. We're going to talk about our favorite moments, our least favorite moments, maybe some moments that we thought were delightful because they were cringeworthy, because E3 always has some form of cringe. It's just like it's an annual tradition, at least as far back as the year that Nintendo did Wii Music. That was terrible.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, could you? I
Never.
have nightmares about it. That's not true. That'd be really sad if I had nightmares about things. That means I'm probably stressing out about too much. Okay, so first, before we get into our favorite moments and our least favorite moments, let's talk about things that have happened since then. I haven't been able to follow the show floor stuff as much as I would like to have, so forgive me if I'm a little out of the loop, but I can tell you that there's been a pretty big backlash over how Fortnite is handled if you have played it on a PlayStation 4. Most of you all know that PS4 does not play nice with cross-platform play with the Xbox and the Switch. They're fine with PC and mobile, but not with their 2 console competitors. And so people found out very rudely when they tried to log into their account on the Switch, if they had ever played the game on their PS4, they could not get into it.
Womp womp.
Which is really, really,
That's
really
heartbreaking.
lame.
Yeah.
It is.
Especially, I don't play Fortnite, but I can imagine if I had spent many, many hours on the game and money on the game.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And
buy a
now-
Battle Pass or something.
Right. And now I don't have it on Switch just because I played it on PS4 once.
Not only do you not have it on Switch, you can never transfer that stuff over.
Right. And so Sony, well, first of all, Reggie Fils-Aimé of Nintendo took a kind of a soft swipe at Sony. They didn't list them.
Just an,
But they definitely were like, hey, some companies can do what they want, but we're all about people being able to play what they like where they want to, whether it's on a Nintendo console or something else. And then Sony kind of came out with this statement of, hey, we're listening to fan feedback and we'll get back to you. which, if you ask
I
me,
mean,
was
and not even that much. I read those statements, and it was more just, "Hey, Fortnite is cool, and lots of people own PlayStations, and that's nice.
yeah, I guess that
Have
was more
fun
it.
playing the game." It
Mhm.
was like a complete non-addressing of the issue, which
Right.
I think is just a lot of salt in the wound to someone who, I mean, even if you love the game, you're not going to want to grind all of that stuff over again. You know, it's
No.
not
Right.
a story that you replay on a new console. It's like hundreds of hours of work for some
Mhm.
people.
The thing about it is, Sony has sold enough PlayStation 4s that they can afford that don't care kind of money. Like,
Yeah.
they have more PlayStation 4s in the hands of players than Xboxes and Switches combined.
Mhm.
This is true.
Oh boy.
Can y'all
Well-
hear my barking dog?
No.
Okay, cool.
So speaking of that, last generation, if you remember, when Final Fantasy XI came out on console, it came out on PS3 and it came out on PC, and they could talk to each other. Everybody who's playing Final Fantasy XI on PS3 is also playing with people on PC. It was Xbox that was like, no, we're not going to let that happen. And so Final Fantasy XI for 360 was walled off, and you couldn't play with anybody else. And because of that, the game kind of flopped on that. I mean, not like Final Fantasy XI was like super successful just in general, but especially on 360, it was a complete and utter bomb. And, you know, they were the company that was in a position last generation to be like, I mean, no, we don't want this to happen, and we don't really care what you think, because it's at least as far as the fight between Sony and Microsoft was going for the first like 4 or 5 years of that. Microsoft was kicking Sony's butt. We won't talk about the Wii because the Wii outsold both of them, but
That's a separate issue entirely.
they were playing their own game. They didn't. I don't even think you could take that in
Yeah,
consideration.
internet was not a thing on that console.
I mean,
Just
not
barely.
really. They advertised that it was, but
You could connect to
I actually remember on the Wii going through all of the trouble to getting to not My Life is Awesome. It's like My Life is Awful or something, but just like old Twitter, and scrolling through manually and typing in like with the button remote. So I mean, it was a functional web browser. Was it efficient or comfortable to use? Absolutely not.
no. Well, and not just that, but it was slow as molasses. I
It
remember
was.
getting
And
my
I
Wii
sat there and I
home.
did it for some reason.
I remember getting my Wii home and having to do that day one update. I think I waited like 3 hours, and not because the update was big, just because the internet connection was awful.
Agonizing.
Yeah, and then like you'd go to download a game from the Wii shop. It wasn't called eShop back then, was it?
I think it was.
Was it?
Wii Shop.
Or the
Wii
Nintendo
Shop.
shop.
Whatever it
Wii
was called.
Shop sounds right.
And you'd watch Mario run by, and he'd hit the
Yeah.
blocks, and
Yes.
you couldn't.
Remember
You couldn't
that?
at least at launch. Maybe you could later, but at launch, like, you couldn't go do anything else. Like, you had to wait for
No,
this thing to finish, and just like,
Yeah.
all right, here's Mario hitting the coins, and
Congrats, you
Forever.
purchased a brick.
yeah. So anyway, how we got on that was, so yeah, Sony is, and I get, like Joe said, Sony's definitely in a position where they can do this, but I mean, with the way the Switch is selling, I don't know how much longer they're gonna be able to do this without it
Well, and
hurting them.
even beyond the numbers, just the reputation you have with your fan base and the people that
Mhm.
have been loyal for decades. I don't think anyone who is going to buy a PlayStation is going to change their minds because of cross-platform pay one way or the other, but people just don't like it.
Yeah.
And this isn't the first game that this has happened with. You got to keep that in mind too.
Mhm.
Rocket League was the same way.
Rocket
Right.
League,
Yep.
Minecraft is the same way. I know there are other cross network games, and
But-
yeah, they're all like that.
But Fortnite is the world's most popular right now.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
So
This is
we'll
true.
see how that turns out. But yeah, I don't think it's a good look for Sony. And if Sony finds themselves one day again in second or third place,
Right.
you know, people are fickle, and they're going to remember that. And I mean, I think inevitably they will have to change with the times. It's just, how long will they be stubborn and stick it out? So
It's kind of like Nintendo Japan is with all of the YouTube issues and how people get so frustrated over
oh yeah,
just how tight-fisted they are with using their materials, even if it benefits them in the long run.
Mhm.
I think it's just companies have to let go a little bit and realize that the world is just more collaborative now,
Yeah.
more than ever before. And that means you don't have to worry about competition in the same way. It's
Mhm.
not going to hurt PS4 sales to allow cross-platform play.
Yeah.
But they
So-
just gotta let it go.
Yep. Also, Nintendo announced that 2 arcade games that have never come to a home console in fully intact are going to be released on the Switch. I didn't actually get to read that article that I shared in the chat real closely. I just kind of caught the headline. But Donkey Kong Arcade, and there was another game I had never heard of. Did anybody happen to click on that article and like
I have not.
skim through it? Let me scroll up in the chat here and see if I can. Good grief, y'all had a lot of.
Sky Skipper.
Yes, I don't know what that is, but apparently it, like Donkey Kong, has never been on a home console fully intact. And when I say fully intact, Donkey Kong for arcade has 4 levels, and the NES version removed the like cement factory level, which is level 3. I believe that if you ever played Donkey Kong 94 on the Game Boy, it's not actually called Donkey Kong 94. That's just the year it was released, and it's called Donkey Kong. So that's how people differentiate it. All 4 levels are in that, but it's not Donkey Kong because Mario controls significantly different.
Oh,
It's an entirely new game, so that may be the first time that maybe even the only time that all 4 levels have appeared in one game. But since it's not Donkey Kong, really, this will be the first time that that'll happen. And I'm kind of hoping that this is a look into what Nintendo has in store for their classic games on the system, because as we all know, they did announce that Virtual Console, at least as we know it, is not coming to Switch, which I think at first I was upset about. But when I realized what it probably meant for classic games on the Switch, I think I kind of got used to the idea that, no, this is actually probably a good thing. That's not E3 news. So if somebody wants to throw in, because I don't know that we've talked about it on the podcast. And again, it's not E3 news. This was announced a while ago, but if anybody wants to throw in their 2 cents about it.
It's
that's
easy
so
work. Like, how many megabytes is an arcade game? It's a crowd pleaser.
Kilobytes.
It's megabytes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
only reason it would be megabytes is if they redid all the assets to be in 720p.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
But, like, my
Sega
mom
in
would
there.
love that.
Oh yeah.
She's never had more fun with my brother's PlayStation 4 than when she was playing a stupid Atari, whatever parachute game. It's like 2
Mhm.
dudes that are just solid rectangles and they fall out of a really weird looking airplane and you have to get them in a circle on the floor. And like, how much time did it take someone to port that? Probably a couple days. And
If
then
that.
instant happiness, nostalgia. Everyone
Right.
loves it.
Mhm.
Easy win for everyone.
Well, I remember a few years ago, when it would have been a few years ago, because I haven't watched traditional television in forever. There was a commercial for some Kellogg's cereal, and they had a cross promotion with Super Mario somehow. And the 2 adults who were in the commercial, they put their kids to bed or whatever, and they're playing what is supposed to be Super Mario Brothers on the TV, but it's like clear as 1080p. It's in widescreen and it's clearly not stretched. Now, obviously, they just put together a video to slap up on a probably green screen covered television, and it's not actually there. But at the same time, I got a glimpse of it and I'm like, this is what I want. Nintendo, why can't you make this happen? I like go ahead and keep it 4:3 so that it's the same dimensions as it is in the original game. But give me 720p assets and give me this game, please. That's what I want.
Fan mods.
Yeah.
Except it's not
Um,
PC, so never mind.
Right. Anyway, that's about all the news that I know of from the show floor. Does anybody else? I want to open the floor up to other people that have maybe been able to pay attention to E3 slightly closer than I have. Start talking.
Octo
Well,
expansion.
Yes, they did show that off quite a bit, but that was announced a
I've got
while
it.
ago.
No,
What
it
was
and
can't.
it's out. It's actually
It came
out.
out.
So.
It was
if you
agony,
want to
actually.
get
Last
it.
night, I was looking for a time. My sister said the servers would be down at, I think, like 8:50.
Yeah.
But it didn't come online until 11:30 here, and I had to go to bed, so I got up early to play it this morning.
For what?
The Octo
Octo
expansion for Splatoon.
The DLC.
That's how late that
Yeah.
came out.
Oh.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that was out.
Yep.
Yeah. Surprise.
Mhm.
Anyone else think they look weird, like the character models for that?
The little octopi people.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're different.
I mean, the
Oh.
whole game looks weird. I don't know what you're talking about.
But they're like wearing this like
Uh,
black fake leather stuff, and they're just got this weird expression on their face from what I saw. And was like,
Yeah,
okay,
this is Nintendo being emo and edgy.
They're
Good.
Right.
cool.
right.
It's great, though. All the music is very hip hop.
Hmm.
Cool. It's different
Yeah.
from Splatoon, which I think was the point.
Hmm. Ned, what were you about to say?
I was going to say there's been a number of interviews with some of the Fallout 76 leads. You know, there's been a lot of stir in the community about the fact that Todd Howard said it was going to be online only, and that, you know, people were thinking, oh my goodness, that's going to mean no mods unless they're paid mods, and that's going to mean that I can't play single player, and you know, the community freaking out. Well, they've made clear in some of the interviews since then that while at launch they aren't going to have them, they are looking into developing private worlds,
Hmm.
and also where you can just play in a world with your friends. So they're looking into that, but that's not going to be available at launch on November 14th. So I think
And
that will,
didn't they also say no NPCs?
yeah, well, they say no NPCs, but there's some indications that there's going to be like maybe robot vendors,
Hmm.
but no traditional NPCs, which is going to be a little weird given that, you know, part of what makes Fallout is the story and those really neat NPCs.
It does kind of make sense, though. I mean, 76 was the first vault to open, right? So,
I mean, yeah, there's lore reasons why it would work. It's just apparently we're supposed to be getting like quests and story information from the Vault Overseer, which
Okay.
also makes sense. But I think there's just a lot of hesitation with the fact that, you know, the last attempt to try and make a multiplayer Fallout was Interplay's Fallout Online, which was, for lack of a better way to put it, their Hail Mary pass to try and hold on to the last vestiges of the franchise. And as someone who was duped into thinking that might actually someday be a thing because of my nostalgia for the Interplay Fallouts, I don't get me wrong. I mean, yes, I'm probably going to go pre-order it, and I'm probably going to go ahead and play it, and there probably will be a CFG clan day one.
Probably. He's got it pre-ordered at Amazon, GameStop, and Best Buy, just in case. Anyway, go on.
Oh, Patty, you underestimate me. I've pre-ordered 3 T51 editions. No,
Oh, well.
the one that comes with the power armor helmet and all the goodies. No,
That
but
looks
really,
like
if I
fun.
can afford one, I probably will.
It looks
I mean, but you still got to buy 2 Switches for Pokemon, so you know you got to budget your money.
Oh,
And
you're
Mario
right.
Party.
You're right. Oh, it hurts. Ow.
I'm glad they're trying to figure that happy medium out. Almost go with like a Minecraft route, give people more options. I think, like you said, it will
Mhm.
help calm some
So-
fears.
So I'm not a Fallout fan, but I will buy this game if the Overseer is just Todd Howard's head floating in the middle of the vault, giving me instructions. I will buy that game and play it. Make this happen.
Have you played the traditional Interplay Fallout games?
Me or Ned?
You, I know Ned.
Oh
has.
no,
You
I've played a little bit of Fallout 3, and actually that's about it. Yeah,
I was gonna say because
I played
the
Fallout.
Overseer's a human being,
Okay, so just
Well,
have Todd Howard.
not a disembodied head. Yeah,
That's
Oh,
fine.
Well, that depends on the vault, actually.
I guess that's fair.
But the Vault
Or-
13 Overseer is human. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You could also go happy medium Todd Howard in a Ben Kenobi style hologram in the sky.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, if they're gonna
Assaults every once in a while.
support mods in the future, someone can make this a reality for me. So
I guarantee that it'll happen.
Well, I mean, spoiler for Fallout 4. I mean, if they could make John Caleb Bradburton a disembodied head in a jar who lived for almost 270 years after the bombs fell, I'm sure they could do the same with Todd Howard's head.
this sounds
Anything
like
is possible.
this sounds like an obscure Futurama reference.
I know, right?
So, okay, Fallout lore minute. John
Yeah.
Caleb Bradburton is the guy who invented the formula for the most popular beverage in the wasteland, Nuka-Cola,
Okay.
and was also the CEO of the Nuka-Cola Corporation. He feared death, though, and so he made a deal with the military before the bombs fell to be part of their LEAP X program, their longevity extension and artificial preservation experimental program. Hence LEAP X.
Cool.
Unfortunately, they didn't tell him till just beforehand that they would only be able to preserve his head.
That's awesome.
That sounds like something the government would do too. Oh, hey, there's this caveat, but you've already signed on the dotted line, so too late.
I don't think they'd even tell you. They'd just be like, all right, here, lie down on this bed.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that blade on the ceiling.
Yeah, it's
Just
fine.
close your eyes. It'll be fine.
It's probably fine.
Well, if you ever play through the Cappy in a Haystack quest in the Nuka World DLC of Fallout 4, you'll get to experience this firsthand.
This is weird.
Put it on
Fallout's
the list.
weird.
Say that again.
All right. Anything else that anybody wants to mention that happened on the show floor?
No.
I only caught bits and pieces. I saw a cool little demo of the new, basically Lego Dimensions game, but with Star Fox in it.
Oh yeah, the
Starlink?
the ship thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
Starlink.
yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm. That was pretty tight.
Fabulous.
Modular things. You can like take the wings off and rearrange them and swap them out for other
Which
things.
is,
Sounds like fun.
and we talked
Yeah,
about
Those
this
look
on.
pretty good.
We talked about this either Monday or Tuesday. That like what I hoped Lego Dimensions was going to be, and what I realized would have been way too expensive to have actually made a reality, was that you were going to be able to build, your Lego thing, and then it would appear in the game, which would of course either require every single Lego piece to have an NFC chip in it, which is just not going to happen, or you somehow 3D scan the thing into the game, which also sounds prohibitively expensive. So the fact that Ubisoft is pulling it off with this spaceship thing, as long as it's somewhat affordable, I think it's pretty neat.
And let's
And
be
I'm
honest, this
looking
is going to be the
forward to
best
it.
Star Fox game anybody's made in years
It looks-
Star Fox 64.
since '64.
Easily.
Yeah,
Yeah, easily. All right. So with that having been said, let's go back all the way to day one, which was pretty light on stuff. It was just Electronic Arts, but I asked all of my panelists to show up tonight with 2 things that they liked about each day and 2 things that they didn't like about each day. Now, I'm not saying we're actually going to get to every single one of these things because we would be here probably for hours talking about it. But I thought that way we would at least be well prepared to have a fully fleshed out podcast. So I'm actually going to start with one of our guests. I'm going to let Shelly go first.
Put me on the spot.
I sure am. EA. Let's start with one thing you liked and one thing that you didn't like.
Okay. I actually didn't watch EA because I was at graduation stuff that day.
Mhm.
Oh,
But I am interested in Anthem. But
yes.
I also understand all the fears behind it. Oh, it's just going to turn to Destiny. It's not going to be good.
Yeah.
But that's why you wait till the game comes out, see how people react, and then you get it to see if people like it. At least
Amen.
that's my strategy. Don't pre-order things. That's dumb. Is my feelings about that. But so I'm excited about Anthem still. I get that there's fears, but I'm still like, oh, it looks good. I like
Mhm.
BioWare. I don't trust BioWare entirely, but I love BioWare. So.
Yeah.
I just want them to start making Dragon Age. That's actually all I care about. I want Dragon Age 4, like now. But they didn't talk about it, so that
Nope.
sucks. That's the
Sure
part I don't
didn't.
like. They didn't talk about Dragon Age.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's fair.
All right. So liked Anthem, didn't like that they didn't talk about Dragon Age. Got
Exactly.
it. Ned, like and dislike E EA.
Okay, so for I liked that Respawn was actually willing to just come out there with Vince Zampella and say, yeah, we're making Star Wars Jedi: The Fallen Order, and it's going to be out holiday 2019. That takes some guts to just come out there, no demo, no video, just hey, we're making this thing.
Well, they probably saw how last year Nintendo just showed a logo for Metroid Prime 4 and like, we can do that.
I mean, no logo, no key art,
Yeah,
nothing.
true.
Just Vince Zampella sitting there from Respawn Entertainment saying, "Hey, we're making a new Star Wars Jedi game."
There you go. All right. And then dislike.
Oh my goodness, where do I start?
You get-
I don't know where you start.
I think we go with the obvious one. EA Dice, what are you thinking with Battle Royale for Battlefield 5?
Oh, that's not...
Ooh.
Okay, so my favorite part about that is, and I didn't like go research this to find the proof, but I'm like 99% certain that when Activision announced that Black Ops 4 was going to be Battle Royale, that one of those Twitter accounts that's attached to either Battlefield 5 or DICE or something made fun of them for it. And then they announced at EA, oh, hey, by the way, we're doing that too. And I was
But
like,
it's going to be reimagined
Right.
for the Battlefield series.
because it can have airlifts. Duh.
Well, let's be
Oh,
honest.
good.
Battlefield can do it a lot better than Call of Duty could intrinsically.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
have any doubt of that. It's still funny.
I mean, they were doing 64-player battles back in 2011. So
Right.
Mhm. Yep. So, all right. Clue.
I didn't have a specific like. I don't know. I didn't get to watch all of it, but I definitely didn't like. I guess not even so much that I didn't like. I don't trust the whole, oh, look, no loot boxes, no pay to win. You can trust us now.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it doesn't matter what you call it. It can be a loot box or it can be an airdrop or it can be whatever you want it to be. The point is that you pay $60 and you don't get the whole game. And that's what I have a problem with.
Mm.
All right. Joe.
So there's something about the devs behind the Unravel team that's just super endearing to me.
Mhm.
They came out and showed off Unravel 2. Boom, Unravel 2's out today. I bought it. I haven't played it yet, but I bought it because I like, watching that dev come out last year and just stammer and stutter and do everything he could to get through that announcement.
Mhm.
Super endeared him to me because you can tell that dude is not a forward-facing guy. He is a developer.
Yeah.
And that was his baby. And so I thought Unravel 2 was a cool move. Command and Conquer on mobile is absolute trash. I cannot believe
Yeah.
EA cannibalized that franchise
You can't.
to make that thing. Oh, well,
You-
okay.
You
Yeah, that's-
can't.
I'm super disappointed that they did. How about that?
Is it
I mean-
out?
No, they're going to have
Well,
a beta for it.
the pre-alpha is available for Android users.
Okay.
I mean, it's they took Clash Royale and they put Tiberium in it.
Mm-hmm.
I hate
And
that,
it's just as awful as it sounds.
and it sounds terrible.
It does. Sound
Looks terrible too.
Yeah, it does.
All right, Assad.
Give me a proper RTS.
Yes, thank you. Well, the thing I liked most about EA was, of course, Anthem. I mean, I actually enjoyed playing the Destiny games, so seeing that it is similar to it is actually a plus for me.
Mm-hmm.
But see, I saw it doing things that Destiny hasn't done. Like, I think it's going to be a blast to be able to seamlessly fly through the air and then just dive underwater and do all that. Like, the movement just looks unparalleled to me. But that could just be, smoke and mirrors for the show. We'll have to wait and see. But if that actually looks like that, or at least something close to that, I think it's going to be a great game.
Mm-hmm.
My dislike, all the sports stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, the pure cringe that was all those presentations.
I cannot for the life of me no one who's playing sports games is watching E3. And I understand that sports is like EA's bread and butter. Like, we like to talk about Dragon Age and Anthem and all the other things that are like core gamers play with EA, but where EA is making their money is FIFA and Madden. So I get that it's hugely important to the company, but no one watching that presentation cares. So why do you keep doing it?
I mean, the thing is, since they don't really have much competition in any of those, they're not making any improvements. So even if people did watch the same watch that, it'd be like watching the same thing they watched the year before.
Yeah.
And the year before that. There's no real improvement there. If anyone else was able to actually make one of these sports games, they might actually try to do something with it. But here we are.
EA owns exclusive license to the NFL. I don't think they do to FIFA, because there's another soccer game.
Winning 11.
Yeah, that's it. Wait, wasn't that Konami though?
Yes.
So is it still around?
I think so. It came out last year.
Oh, well.
And there's also a Pro Evolution Soccer.
Pro Evo, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, there you go. All right. Nolan's here. Hi, Nolan.
Hey, guys.
Normally, y'all would be watching Nolan right now on Twitch play some game that's really hard and making him aggravated. But
15 minutes, but yeah.
But instead, we're doing this. So, Nolan, you joined us just in time to tell us what one. As you know, I asked everybody to come here with 2 things that they liked about each day and 2 things they didn't like about each day. So we're just getting to the end of our first round of the first thing that you liked and disliked about the Electronic Arts presentation. So you have the floor.
Oh, about each individual thing. I thought you meant about E3 in general.
Well, no. So about each day. So unfortunately for EA, they get the blunt of everything because they were the only thing on. Well, they were the only thing on day one. So everything else is going to get you might hear someone talk about Bethesda, for tomorrow, and then so on. So anyway, EA. Name one thing you liked and one thing you didn't like.
I'm trying to think. I'm like, what did EA do?
That's a good question.
Actually, as sad as that sounds, I'm trying to think of
that is a philosophical question.
Well, if you need to think about it, I actually haven't gone yet, so I can go ahead and go, and then we can come back to you.
Okay.
So no, that's fine. So I'm not. All right, Halo was. There's this saying that Halo was like the perfect 15-second repeatable gameplay loop, just over and over and over again. But the reason why you don't notice it so much in Halo, at least in most of Halo, I get that the library level in Halo 1 doesn't really break out of the mold very well. But the reason why you don't notice it super much in Halo is because there's a lot going on within that 15 seconds that kind of hides it. Destiny was a 15-second repeatable loop with a whole bunch of boring stuff. And by boring stuff, I mean complete and total lack of any sort of story. And so my experience with Destiny, while it was very, very short, was just, it's just that 15-second gameplay loop, but nothing all that exciting going on around it. So I don't care, and I don't want to keep doing this. I am fearful that that's what Anthem is going to be. It's this tight 15-second gameplay loop with nothing interesting going on outside of it, and it's just going to be boring as crap. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but that's what I see.
My encouragement in that is that BioWare are such masters with storytelling, and so
That's
I think
true.
that's the silver lining on that cloud.
So
That, and they've already started to show elements of the science fantasy lore underpinning the series from the beginning. Destiny never did that.
yeah. Well, as long as I don't have to go to a website to get that lore, I might find myself interested.
Don't play
in
Dark Souls
Totally
then.
fair.
Anthem.
You're not gonna. I don't even know most of that lore. I've been playing this forever.
I've watched probably 100 hours of Dark Souls lore videos, and I still don't have a
Me
clue what's
too.
going on.
Like I still don't know everything. I know a small amount to when I talk to people. I'm like, oh, you know this, and they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, dude, it's like some little thing, and I'm like, so I feel kind of special, but at the same time, I'm like, I still don't know everything, like how certain people are related and all that stuff. But
Yeah. And then something I liked about EA. See, I have trouble with that, and that's because it's not even because like I saw the trailer for Battlefield 5 and I thought this looks really cool, and again I saw what Anthem is, and I'm like, it looks really cool, but I trust EA to do anything right about as far as I could pick up the building they're located in and throw it, which is to say that I can't. So it's real hard to look at anything that they do and just get excited about it, because all I'm doing is like, wow, this looks really cool. How are they going to screw it up? That's my thought
that's
process.
accurate.
And I used to think that way about Activision, and I guess I still kind of do.
Kind of do.
And and it's just that's where I'm at with Electronic Arts. So I can safely say that even though I asked everybody else to come here with 2 for each day, I don't have a thing that I liked about it, and I just have a bunch of stuff that I didn't like about it. So I apologize. Nolan, did you come up with anything?
Yeah, I was reading through kind of like a little thing. I guess I will start with what I like, and I really like that there's going to be a sequel for Unravel, because that was really a cool game.
Well, it's actually out.
Is it out? Did I miss that?
Unravel 2 is launched.
They announced hey, by the way, you can go get on PSN and Xbox and Origin and download it right now.
Okay.
That's
I guess
so
I gotta get
cool.
that then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Instant gratification.
Oh, that was another thing I didn't like. Why is that game not on Switch? Other than just EA doesn't like Nintendo for some reason. I don't get
That's
that.
a good point. I could see that being a good Switch game,
I
but at the
get
same time,
Everything
it
is
probably
good.
will eventually.
that
Though
game
that's
is
the thing.
perfect for the Switch.
I can see, like couch co-op, like each person has a Joy-Con.
and
That would be fantastic.
Oh, I miss
Sure.
couch co-op.
I get
Sure,
why
eventually that'll happen.
I get why the first one wasn't. It came out right after the Switch launched, and EA was doing this whole, well, we're gonna test the waters
wait,
kind of
yeah.
thing, and I understand that, but I mean, come on.
Well, I did read an article earlier today from someone at Nintendo who was saying, well, the Switch has been out for 14 months now, and since games take several years to develop, we should over time see that gap close. Obviously, like with the first Unravel, you can't release it on the Switch instantly if it just came out.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, the third-party stuff was still on pretty shaky ground. So Nintendo supposedly has full faith that within, say a year or 18 months, games will, for the most part, release simultaneously on all platforms. Only time
the
will
one,
tell.
yeah, the ones that are going to anyway.
Right,
I mean, because
exactly.
you're not gonna get, I think, new Assassin's Creed games on.
I don't know. We're getting.
I
Doom.
could see that though. Wait, didn't the last one get on the Switch though?
No.
No,
There's not an Assassin's Creed game on the Switch. The Assassin's Creed 4 was on Wii U, but I think that was the last time an Assassin's Creed game was on a Nintendo console.
Probably the only time.
I thought the Egyptian one was on the Switch for some reason.
No.
Oh, okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
All right. So Nolan said he liked Unravel 2. One thing you did like.
Are we just going one for each? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like in a.
You didn't
Okay.
Like literally.
What I don't like, which probably doesn't affect me as much because I'm not planning on playing it anyways, but the fact that they're making a battle royale for Battlefront.
Yes.
Battlefront.
Yeah.
No, Battlefield.
Oh, yeah, it is
Yeah,
Battlefield. Oh,
Yeah, that's the first.
trust me. When Battlefront 3 comes out, there's gonna be a battle royale. That's coming.
See, I
Yeah,
can
I'll-
see that working though, because that's kind of the point. So that
That's
actually
true.
makes some amount of sense, but that's besides the point.
Have some
Yeah, the fact they're making,
down a Jedi or something.
yeah, like
Mhm.
they're making a battle royale for Battlefield just kind of upsets me because then it seems like it's just like, ooh, that's a popular thing. We're gonna put this in the new game just because.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I realize that that's kind of a good thing to do when you're making games like, ooh, this is popular, let's do this. But at the same time, it just seems it's like, I don't know, like lately with certain games, it's been like the whole point is like, ooh, it has to be multiplayer, like online multiplayer, so you can do this, and then I guess we'll throw in a single player mode.
Mhm.
Like that upsets me. I mean, I'm not super like multiplayer only thing. Like I prefer single player most of the time, just because I like the story of things more often than not.
Yeah.
But it just, yeah. So I think that's the biggest thing that I'm reading here of the things that have been going on. That's what upsets me the most. Probably is that I do like a couple of these things though that EA has been doing, at least based on what I'm reading here. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about Anthem. Like that's kind of a, I don't know, maybe.
Mhm.
What's funny though, like the one thing I knew about Anthem this whole weekend was that people were upset because there wasn't a romance option in a BioWare.
Oh yeah, I saw.
I thought
something
that was the
like that. I was
funniest
like,
thing.
oh.
That's what everyone was upset about. I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense, but like,
So weird.
You watch some character in there will have like a romance thing with his weapon, like oh, what's his name? The dwarf from Dragon Age.
Varric.
Varric, yes, I
Varric
forgot
and
his
Bianca.
Yeah.
Varric and Bianca.
All right. We can sit here and hate on EA all.
yeah, I'm like,
so-
I'm trying not to. I was
Yeah,
like,
so-
just,
So
that's-
instead of going your second dislike, because that'll be easy. Does anybody else here have another thing that they liked about it and want to talk about, and then we'll move on?
No.
I mean, I
I don't care.
like that
Stuff
they're
I don't
making
care
another
about.
Command and Conquer game.
Even though
What?
it's
No.
a thing.
No. Fight,
What?
fight.
Nolan, turn back. Don't go.
What? What?
Let the man speak. He's got a butt.
I yes, I do. What?
You said butt, and I was just talk, okay. Just go.
Like, even though it's a mobile game, I always liked Command and Conquer series, and there's someone mowing their lawn very loudly. I apologize.
That's an odd time.
But yeah, like I liked Command and Conquer growing up. It was something that I would do with like my sister and my brother-in-law and my nephews. So that's kind of cool. So I kind of like that they're bringing that back, even though it is a mobile game and it kind of looks like it's trying to be StarCraft really hard.
So tell me, Nolan, do you like Clash Royale?
No, I don't.
Then you're not gonna.
Then
like
you're not gonna
this.
like it.
I'm sure. Like as soon as I saw it was mobile, I'm like, I like that they're bringing it back. However, at the same time, I'm sure that's what it's going to be.
It's essentially Command and Conquer Clash Royale.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We need I mean, and they're even using like the actor for Kane in this thing, but we
Yeah.
need a proper Command and Conquer game, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Was-
And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I would like a real one. This is something, but at the same time, I'm like, ugh.
mhm.
But
All right, we're gonna move on to Sunday, which was Microsoft, Bethesda, Devolver Digital. Were they the only three? I believe.
Yep.
So
I think
okay,
so.
yeah. All right, so Shelly, you're up next. Thing you liked about the entire day. You don't just have to pick one conference. Thing you liked about the entire day, and the thing you disliked.
What I really liked was second Ori in the Blind Forest.
Oh yeah, mhm.
oh, that's
the
right.
wisps.
I forgot about that.
And
Yeah.
It looks so pretty because the first game is already gorgeous, but you see the video of the gameplay and it looks prettier somehow,
Mhm.
which I didn't think was possible. So that's what I would say to that. I don't know about dislikes. I feel like I don't have lots of dislikes. I just get disinterested with things. I'm just like, oh,
Okay.
that's not something I care about. It's not necessarily something I dislike unless it's something I was excited about and then they crushed my dreams. But I don't think that ever happened with me on that day. I'm trying to check. I'm just looking through news again, and I mean, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is like cool enough, but at the same time, they need to stop releasing so many games so fast.
Yeah. But that would be on
But they-
Monday.
I guess that would be my dislike, is that Assassin's Creed is like a good series, but they already learned their lesson that they can't release like a game a year or a game every 2 years, because they did that and their games turned to crap, and now they're doing it again.
Yeah,
So,
that would be on
yeah.
Monday because that's Ubisoft.
That's you. Oh no, I thought that was.
You
Oh,
skipped.
But oh well.
okay.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
that was
Well,
it.
cool.
Oh, you're right.
Yep.
It was
Excited about
Bethesda
Ori.
on Sunday. I got those mixed up.
All right, Ned. You wouldn't happen to have liked anything that happened during Bethesda's conference, would you have?
No, not
Almost heaven. Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River.
I mean, that wasn't half bad.
Yeah, he's got a great
That's
singing
lovely.
voice, actually.
It was all right.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Oh, I am so hyped for Fallout 76. But at the same time, I am also hyped for Cyberpunk 2077.
Mm.
So, for different reasons.
Mm-hmm. Whose conference was that at? Microsoft's?
That was at Microsoft's. The
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red hacked in to the end of the Microsoft presentation to show
Oh,
off
yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Did you see that there were Xbox game codes in that screen?
Yes, there were.
They gave away like 200 copies of Witcher Game of the Year, Witcher
Oh
3.
my word.
Yes, they did.
Aw.
That's cool.
And there was even one slide, if you're really looking for it, where they basically explain. There's one slide right before they show the cyberpunk.net slide at the very end of the video, where they basically list out all the things they did in making the game and all the care they took. And it's just like a whole personal message to the players from CD Projekt Red.
Cool. All right. But you liked both those things.
So
What'd you not
dislike.
like?
Why does Gears Pop exist?
Pop. I don't. What's that? I must have missed
It's
it.
a Gears of War game for mobile that uses
Oh.
Funko Pop
Oh,
figures
why?
for the Gears.
Oh gosh.
That's why I said, why does it exist?
Was it like
Game of the year right there.
EA was like Command and Conquer Mobile, and Microsoft was like, "Oh yeah, check this out."
That
Oh,
and
gosh.
Bethesda. You don't give a 36-second teaser for the Elder Scrolls 6 and just leave it at
Right.
Why not?
Yeah.
that.
Wasn't it just like a banner, a blurry picture with just the words Elder Scrolls?
No, like
Well,
there's the
on it.
cameras zooming
Yeah.
over this
Yeah.
landscape.
Oh yeah.
That-
yeah.
Who
Okay.
knows if that's even
I
what
got
the
it.
world's gonna look like? It's just
Yeah.
is something. And
Well, I
then
mean,
a
it's
logo.
they've already announced that both it and Starfield are going to be next generation games.
Mhm.
But the rumors are the Xbox One successor and the PS5 are supposed to come out next year.
Interesting.
I thought 2020 was what I was hearing.
Well, the teaser of the next generation Xbox at this year's, I guarantee you they're going to show it and announce it at next year's.
Hmm. Oh, I would bet so too. So okay. Clue. A like and a dislike.
A like and a dislike. I actually got to watch the entire Bethesda conference. I think that was the one thing I got to see all the way through. And once the big guns came out, it was a lot of fun. But I liked that Cuphead is getting DLC. I haven't played the game, but like just
Wait,
the
what?
whole concept.
Yeah,
Of the
Cuphead's
game.
good DLC.
Cuphead
Aw.
is getting DLC and a new playable character. And just the
Ooh.
fact that these people took so much of their lives and poured it into this amazing work of art that happens to be a ton of fun to play. Like I'm just happy for them and that they're getting enough funding and time to put new stuff out for this crazy
Mhm.
complicated project.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts, all the other normal stuff.
All right. Did you say a dislike?
A dislike. I don't like that things are announced like 5 years before they're going to exist.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
I agree
And,
with
you know,
that.
Starfield, like, I'd rather you tell me, hey, this game is coming out tomorrow. Like, I'll buy it. Don't put me through this agony for 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I didn't used to know what that was like because Nintendo isn't usually like that. I mean, like following Microsoft, I would get it occasionally with Halo, but that would be about it. And then Breath of the Wild happened, and I realized that wasn't their intention, but how it worked out, and it was like, oh, this is how everybody else feels all the time.
Always.
And that's awful.
I'm really glad that I wasn't following that super closely when it started, because I would have lost my mind.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. So, all right, Joe, like and a dislike for Sunday.
I am a Gears of War fan. I think Gears of War 5 looked cool. I'm interested in the story. I genuinely like Gears' story. So I'm curious to see how that story is going to play with those characters. It looks like a couple of the main characters from 4 have been drastically changed. So I'm curious in that. Dislike Devolver Digital's entire existence. I think they publish cool stuff. I think they're edgy to the point of being offensive intentionally, and I don't care for that approach.
Yeah. So you're probably not a big fan of like the Fractured Butthole or.
I have to admit I have not played that.
Okay.
I will say in Devolver Digital's defense, Metal Wolf Chaos XD.
But here's the thing about Devolver's thing. I didn't catch anything that they announced because there was so much craziness around everything else they did.
This is true.
But yeah, Metal Wolf Chaos is going to be cool.
Yeah, my brother posted to Facebook something like Metal Wolf Chaos may be the only announcement at E3 that even matters. I don't know what it is.
That's a huge thing, though.
Yeah. So
that was an old From Software IP that hadn't got anything for a long time. That's actually, there's a lot of good things that Microsoft did, which I think is just
interesting.
Happens to be on a lot of different platforms that just happen to come out on Microsoft first. So I'm like trying to figure out how to split these up because.
Well, Jimmy just jumped in, so and he on my screen he's wedged in between you and Joe. So I'm going to jump to Jimmy. Everybody say hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
Jimmy, we're doing I asked everybody to come with 2 things they liked about each day and 2 things they disliked about each day, and we're starting with just 1 like and 1 dislike. So if you would like to, you have the floor for a thing you liked and a thing you disliked about stuff that happened on Sunday, which would be Microsoft, Bethesda, and Devolver Digital.
Okay, well, I'm actually going to shoot my dislikes first because that's my style. I'm going to go ahead and give them both. Nintendo and Sony.
Okay, but they weren't on Sunday, so...
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Show up late and take over. That's
all right. Is there something? Okay, then what did you like about Sunday? I'm assuming Fallout.
If you're going to assume, why even ask?
Right.
E3 for me is literally when's the next Fallout coming out? That's it. There are very, 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 very few games that can actually get me hype, and I don't know what it is about Fallout, but it is always the one that hypes me up a lot. Like, I am trying very hard not to get the same kind of hype fever I had with Fallout 4, and I didn't express that quite as much openly to everyone, but I was jittery and antsy the whole time from announcement to pre-orders to the ultimate disappointment that the limited edition Ultimate or whatever was no longer available. And then, like, 2 days later, the announcement that, like, 1,000 more had been made, and then the elation of being one of the guys who got it, and then disappointment when it showed up, and I realized I couldn't use it, and played the game religiously for, like, a year and a half, and then they stopped doing DLC, and then I was sad, and then 76 happened. And at first, I was upset with what they had said about it, with it being always online and having other people around. And then I got to thinking about it. I had always said that I wanted a co-op Fallout. I always thought that would be an amazing thing. And what they're doing is actually, the more I hear about it, the more not just comfortable but happy I get with it. I like where it's sitting in the timeline. I like the idea that CrossForge can all get together and build a mega base and fight off Righteous Fury or something. You know,
Yes.
all two of them. And you know, I just think I'm really excited for it. And on a side comment to that, I like how much attention John Denver is getting because of 76.
Yeah.
Freaking John Denver.
Don't freaking John Denver. He's one of the greatest artists of all time, and it was a tragedy in the past. This is not a
This is
joke.
all true.
No, I know.
I realize just every time I hear John Denver, it makes me think of Super Troopers in that one scene. That's all. That's all that was.
The only thing I know about Super Troopers is that they meow at people.
Yes.
Meow. Yeah. John Denver holds a special place in American artist history, along the same lines as like Johnny Cash or Elvis Presley. These are epic people. They don't have similar levels of fame, but they were people I was raised on, right? So John Denver getting his props and suddenly becoming a meme is cool to me. And what's sad is I'm sitting here without any irony, expecting to see somebody pop up with a "Who's this John Denver guy? When's his next show?"
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Oh,
Like, is it to call Kanye or whatever and say that they'd blown up John Lennon because of him and blah, blah, blah. I'm waiting for that. I really am. But, 76 is pretty much the only thing that I can think of from that particular day. There is one other thing I liked, but as you said, it wasn't from Cindy. So,
Yeah. All right. Cool. Nolan, Sunday, like and dislike.
So I'm going through here. I'll start with the dislike just because it's not even a real big thing. Like, I'm looking through here trying to figure out, and there's some of these things that I don't know a lot about. So I'll be completely honest. I'm like, I don't know some of these. So my one thing actually is about 76. Now, before you get all upset, is I am worried that with the online, the co-op Fallout sounds really cool. However, my biggest concern is that it's going to basically turn into like Rust or Ark, where it's going to be just terrible people running around destroying stuff, because that's what the internet is, and that's how people just trolling and doing that. And that's why I never got into those games, is because it would just go around just to destroy those.
that's why clans happen, man.
Yeah, that doesn't change that, though. That's the thing.
What,
Like,
Shelly,
I've
what were
seen
you
it
trying
in
to say?
Oh, I thought I read somewhere that you can also drop nukes now in that game. I feel like that'll make trolling a lot worse.
I mean, unless the trolls are the only ones with the nukes.
They made it
Well,
that's the thing. So I'm like,
it's really hard to do that, but we'll see.
well, and the other thing is something that's come out that wasn't made clear in the original presentation is the nukes actually serve a purpose. You remember that big bat creature thing that was running around destroying a person's base? The Scorch Beast?
Yeah, the thing that everyone thinks is some Virginian myth creature that they squeezed into the game.
Right. So apparently those things come out of fissures in the earth, and the whole point of the nukes is to nuke those fissures so that they'll stop attacking your bases.
Interesting.
Oh.
okay.
So the nukes...
Yeah, but somebody's going to figure out how to aim them at, Patrick's head eventually.
Well, they made it seem like they were there more for the lulz than for anything else, but I like that there's actually a point to them that's not just
that
ruin
and
someone's day.
Yeah.
nuke a particular place, the fauna there becomes much higher level, and you get far better and unique and exotic crafting materials to make your high-level gear.
So Fallout 76 is basically playable Scorched Earth policy.
Yes, it is mutually assured destruction turned to 11.
Yeah. So that's my one concern that I have, and that, like I said, that's the only real big thing.
Okay.
Like, I was looking through here, like Bethesda. There's a lot of things that I'm kind of like, whatever. That I don't really care about. Same thing with the Microsoft, but there's a lot of things that I'm like, I'm actually excited about, and then that I had to double check and make sure I'm like, wait, dude, because I don't actually play my Xbox One anymore. It just kind of sits here, and I've been thinking about selling it anyways for other things. And I'm like looking through here, I'm like, are all of these Microsoft only? Do I need to keep this or not? Because I'm like, but yeah. So as for, I guess, I don't know. There's a lot of single things that are just kind of like only on this. I'm trying to
Pick
narrow down what's the one thing I like.
Mhm.
And like
So you liked a lot of stuff.
I liked a lot of things on Sunday. Like I'm looking through here, like both the Bethesda and the Microsoft one. Like there's just
Yeah. Well, while you try and narrow it down,
Yeah,
hop on over to Assad. A
Yeah.
thing you liked and a thing you didn't like.
Just Cause 4,
Was the thing you liked?
easily.
Okay.
And I didn't realize it was showed off on Sunday,
hmm
and I actually didn't watch like the footage and stuff until before the podcast today. And oh my goodness, like I've liked the series since 2 because you could do all these like crazy things. I just now started playing 3. Well, sort of. Still, I don't know if it's even finished downloading yet, but they had that Boom Island thing where you can test things out.
hmm
I've been launching goats in the air. It's been
I
fun.
saw. It's been great.
But
You are playing the game correctly, sir.
Yeah.
but Just Cause 4 just seems like it cranked it up even further. You got like tornadoes, blizzards, and sandstorms and stuff that can affect the gameplay physics further. You can customize your grappling hook, which is my favorite part of the series, always has been. I think that's what differentiates it from other games of the same genre. And then the graphics just look much better.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I care so much about the graphics, but I'm really wanting to play that game.
hmm Does it have a release window?
If it did, I forgot it because I'm horrible with dates.
Okay. Well, considering Avalanche, who develops Just Cause, just kind of sort of got done or is in the middle of Rage 2 at the same time, I would imagine Just Cause 4 is a little way off.
December 4th, 2018.
For Just Cause 4?
Yeah.
Oh, dadgum.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's 3 days
Merry
before
Christmas.
Smash Brothers.
You better hurry up and finish that game quick.
I know.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'll have a Switch by then, so I'm not under any pressure yet.
Yeah.
You should have
Um,
a Switch by then. Everyone should have a Switch by then.
All right.
We'll see.
Something you didn't like about Sunday.
Halo Infinite.
Okay.
I know I'm probably stealing thunder from you because I'm sure
I
you're
think
really
you're gonna be
hating that.
surprised when we get over to me. But go on.
The
Go on.
fact that a arcade version of the Halo series looks more appealing to me than a main game in the series says a lot.
Mhm.
Basically, what we saw was a very well made trailer showing off how beautiful the environment is and all the models and stuff. But that was it. There was like nothing to it. It's just like, oh yeah, and here's Master Chief too. And it's like,
Yeah.
I feel I missed out on Halo 5. Well, actually, I probably didn't.
No, there was
For
no
what you guys
missing
said.
anything.
So I didn't play it, and it sounds like it was a good thing I didn't play it. But you know, Halo series has been really enjoyable for me, you know, in years past, and the fact that they are treating it the way it is now,
Mhm.
it's really upsetting. I feel like it deserves a lot better.
Yep. All right. Nolan, did you come up with your thing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why it took that long. I'll be honest. The thing I'm most psyched about that I'm going to say for this is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Like,
That's a good
not,
option.
there's no. I'm like, do I want to talk about this? Do I want to talk about Doom? Do I want to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3? No, I'm going to talk about Shadows Die
You
Twice.
talk about Kingdom Hearts 3 on Sony Day. Or
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, Shadows Die Twice looks so cool.
Mhm.
Because it's ninja. It's like Ninja Dark Souls with a lot of like parts to it. It's like there's like Japanese horror added into it, like elements of that. It's not the main part, but there's like a lot of elements of it and like old Japanese like mythology thrown in with it as well.
Mhm.
But
Have you heard of a franchise called Neo?
I have. See that.
Which is getting a
That's
sequel.
Samurai Bloodborne. This is Neo Dark. This is Ninja Dark Souls.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Yeah,
I get you.
yeah. I know. Very similar. I actually I haven't played Neo yet, but I want to play it.
Mhm.
Anyway, but because part of it is like you have a katana for this, but you also have like a prosthetic limb, which is what we saw in that big trailer like back in January. That is part of it is grappling hook that he has that he can use it as, and you put different like hand things on there to do different attacks based on what you have in there. And,
so Captain Hook.
Potentially, yeah. Like there's a lot of different things you can do with it that just looks really cool, and it's a little faster paced than normal Dark Souls, but not as much as Bloodborne, which I realize most of you are like, what?
No,
but it's like but yeah, and like very aggressive, and it's a little bit open world as well that I'm just super excited about. So
at first glance, it looked to me like a mixture of Dynasty Warriors, Tenchu, and Bushido Blade.
Ooh,
that's not completely inaccurate.
I like all of those things.
That sounds great.
Bushido Blade. That game is desperately wishing for a remake.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Bushido Blade.
Bushido Blade. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That was the one where you could kill people in one hit if you were good enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was about the most realistic fighter there was at the time.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. So, I liked that Microsoft came out swinging, and I realized. So I'm kind of painting with a broad stroke here. I don't know that there was any one thing that stuck out to me that I liked. I just like that Microsoft knows that they're backed up into a corner, and they needed to come out swinging. And they came out swinging. And I think that the little soft announcement that the new Xbox is coming, sort of like how what Nintendo did when they just kind of casually mentioned during one of their directs, oh, hey, by the way, the NX is a thing. And we're like, wait, what? It was the right time for them because the Wii U was tanking. And while the Xbox One is not near the disaster that the Wii U was, it's definitely in a situation where it was mishandled very badly when it launched. And Phil Spencer kind of inherited a giant mess that he is absolutely making the best of, but they do need to get past Xbox One, and I think sooner rather than later. So I thought that was really good. Saad, I'm right there with you. I don't trust 343 Industries to handle Halo properly. Halo 4, while not a bad game, was also not a great game, and Halo 5 was a complete dumpster fire. And I don't have any faith that they will handle the franchise properly. I will certainly try Halo Infinite because, I mean, I think the new art direction, while I wasn't super crazy about it, I think it shows that they are aware that they've mishandled it and that they need to change it. It's just, do I trust that simply being aware that they've screwed up is enough to ensure that they fix it? And I don't know, especially since, and I had this conversation with Josh, and he pointed out to me that in my little world, I probably don't completely understand, but every time I hear them talk about, well, how do we fix what was wrong with Halo 5? All Microsoft ever talks about is people wanted to play as Master Chief more, and that was the problem. And I'm like, no, that wasn't the problem. It may have been a problem.
It was definitely a problem.
It may have been a problem, but had that game been nothing but Master Chief, it wouldn't have changed the fact that it's still best played with 4 players, and you've got all these other characters surrounding Master Chief that no one gives a crap about. And so I don't think had they just, taken out all the levels where you played as Locke and replaced them with more crappy Master Chief levels, that would have made Halo 5 any better. Halo 4 was nothing but Master Chief, and that game wasn't great.
It was a lot better than 5 was, though.
Well, sure it was. But ODST and Reach are my 2 favorite Halo games, and you can't play as Chief in either one of them. So, if you ask me, when they come out and they're like, hey, we fixed it, we put Master Chief back in it, I'm like, you don't understand what's wrong with the series.
The story was jacked up in 5. That was the problem with 5.
It was. And I hear I've heard people tell me that the multiplayer in Halo 5 was some of the best that the series has ever had, but I was so completely turned off by the campaign that I didn't even bother with the multiplayer, and I never got into it. And so maybe it is some of the best that the series has ever had, but I never got to experience it because I was so disappointed in the campaign.
I think 5 has a really strong multiplayer element, but their story is severely lacking.
Yeah, so that's my like and dislike. All right, real quick, we'll run through the second like and dislike for everybody, and then we're gonna move on to the next day. So Shelly, real quick, something else you liked and disliked about Sunday.
Well, I'll be sure to actually not Ubisoft or totally mixed up. I don't know. I'm just like, I am excited for another Elder Scrolls. I also realized I haven't finished Skyrim. So
I mean, do you finish Skyrim? Is that a thing people do?
Yes, you don't.
Yes, it
Technically.
is.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly, I guess.
It's when you stop playing and move on to the next.
I was gonna say, if that's the criteria, then I finished it in 4 hours. So what's your problem?
No, you don't ever really finish the Elder Scrolls. You just download the next mod.
That's
I saw credits roll. That was good for me.
there you go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
should
but
be
see,
like
I'm the guy
amazing.
who downloads the extender mods like Bruma or what was that other one? Ember something or other. Anyway,
Mhm.
I
the ones that basically are total overhaul mods that extend
Oh.
the game and add like 20 to 30 hours of additional gameplay.
Because that's
Yeah.
somebody looked at that game and went, "This is too short."
Skyrim's too short. We got to do something about this.
Yeah.
I liked Oblivion better than Skyrim anyway.
That's fair.
Well, all right.
yeah,
Were you
that's
done, Shelly? Or
No, that's a like.
okay.
Didn't they also announce like what's it called? It's like a card game for
Did they announce an else?
Oh yeah, they did. Some
Oh.
with
The Elder
Skyrim.
Scrolls Legend.
That's it.
yeah.
Well,
I'm not sure if I yeah,
Someone-
that's
someone-
Elder Scrolls Legends.
Someone's echoing. So whoever that is, please address that.
I have headphones.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just think it's weird that a bunch of games are just like, hey, let's do card games. It's just a weird thing to me. I don't know.
Isn't it?
But is it gone?
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think it might be Jimmy.
Rip. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So Elder Scrolls 6, good thing. Elder Scrolls Legends, I think it's a weird trend
Yeah.
that everything
mean-
is like, let's just make a card game of this.
Josh
Yeah.
will like it. So there you go.
Josh
Yeah.
will like it.
It's not necessarily bad. Again, it's just a strange trend that I dislike generally.
All right, Ned.
Let's see. I actually like the look of the Elder Scrolls Blades. It actually looks pretty
The
good for
mobile
a
game?
mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
What I disliked, oh boy. So I'll go to Devolver Digital's. While I appreciated the way they skewered pretty much every gaming marketing practice known to man, and cryptocurrency while they were at it, the whole loot box coin, where they made fun of loot boxes and cryptocurrency at the same time, took up way too much of the show and was kind of pointless. As funny as it was.
All right. Clue.
I liked Dying Light 2. I think it was
Okay.
it was an interesting concept. Like the whole parkour thing was neat. So I'm interested to see what improvements they can make on the first game.
Yeah, I saw a brief snippet of a trailer from that, and I was like, "This is a really weird direction for Mirror's Edge." And then realized,
Yeah.
oh wait, this is not that.
I'm a fan of games that really take advantage of like a fluid motion system, and it seems like they're trying to do some really cool environmental and story things in terms of like your choices. So that'll be cool to see.
Cool.
I don't really remember anything else in particular that I was like, no, that looks terrible.
Okay. Joe?
I think Rage 2 looks like a lot of fun.
Yes.
I mean, it looks ridiculous, but it looks like a lot of fun.
Sony explained that to me, that it was basically like Borderlands if you got to stay in the car and hang out and shoot with your friends. I'm like, I'm down for that.
Me too.
I'm like,
It just looks totally bananas, and I'm okay with that.
yeah.
I did not like Microsoft's continual lenient. I understand why they're doing it, but they keep pressing the Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I don't want to pay them monthly for something else.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
that's pretty much it. I mean, it's not a bad deal. You can't argue with it, but I just don't want another subscription service.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
I got enough already.
Yeah. All right. Jimmy, if you had any more input, I would unmute you, but I can't for some reason.
I can't imagine why not.
I don't know.
What was the question?
Did you have another like and dislike from Sunday?
From Sunday. Well, I think a company called Bethesda announced the new Fallout.
Yeah. But you're not super sure about that.
You know, I actually I dislike primarily the idea that they announced both Fallout and Elder Scrolls the same day. Because I mean, there's only so much hype that Bethesda really needs at any given time, and from a business perspective, I think it was a bad idea. Because those are their two biggest franchises, and you know they're pumping out steady content for ESO. They just released the Somerset Isles or something.
Yeah.
So I mean, they should have held on to the Elder Scrolls announcement for next year or so, and then instead of just doing the lame ass pan shot over the forest, they should have just not done it at all, and then actually shown, maybe just a cutscene. Because I remember the commercials when Skyrim first came out, and you had that barbarian dude walking through the town, getting ready to go fight the dragon with his horn helmet and everything, and that was seriously hype. That was an amazingly well done commercial, and that in and of itself made me want to play Skyrim the first time, not the next 30 subsequent times. But this reveal, I don't think it was well planned out. I think they were just trying to cram as much hype as they could into one small segment, to try to upstage everyone else who was going before the E3 stages. I think it was unwise myself, and I don't like it. I don't like bad business decisions. It bugs me.
All right. Nolan?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really have any other anything else I didn't really like in particular. Like there wasn't anything like super like, oh, that's dumb. So it's kind of hard to say.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I guess
some you liked it.
I guess the other thing was I'm excited that they're making another Doom, because that last one was so much fun.
It looks really good.
I remember, because I hadn't played it until we did Extra Life that last year, and that's what I was playing during mine thing. And I was like worried. I'm like, man, am I gonna be able to play this the whole time? And I had like the biggest smile on my face the entire time.
Yeah,
because it was so much. I was having so much fun, just like going forward and just like just punching a demon and killing it instantly. It just felt so cool. Like how like the glory kills or whatever I can't remember what they're called. We're done, and so I'm excited about that.
Cool.
So yeah.
Anifix.
Well, a dislike of mine is how they seem to decide, well, Gears of War is a great franchise. Let's branch it out into other genres all at once.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of the Gears series in general. I believe that if you want to use tank controls, you should play a tank game. Sorry, Joe.
I mean, have you seen the guys and gals in that game? They are tanks.
Yeah, it's true. Because I had the same problem with Resident Evil. Like, if I can't control the game like I want it, I don't like playing, and it's a chore.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they're just like doing that, I'm afraid they're gonna water down the franchise doing that. But
I'm actually genuinely interested in that tactics game. I mean, it's a cover-based shooter to begin with, so the idea that it's now also going to be an XCOM sort of thing is kind of enticing to me.
I think I'm still hurting from the Suikoden series getting a tactics game that was good until it wasn't.
That's fair.
So, and we haven't seen that series since. So,
yeah.
So when do we get the Gears of War Rabbids XCOM crossover?
That already happened. It's called Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah, but it's not
That's what that was.
I know, but it wasn't Gears.
Isn't that what Gears Pop is?
Oh,
I mean,
I don't think Ned's wrong.
no.
yeah,
All right. Okay, so
that's pretty much it.
yeah. My last like and dislike were I'm an Andrew WK fan, so
Yeah.
I liked that he was
that's
it
right.
that he played live at Bethesda. However, I think musical numbers at E3 are like EA showing off sports games at E3. No one there is that interested, and you can tell during that concert when every time they pan over the crowd, there might be 5 people in there that are like, yeah, I'm down with this, and everybody else is just like, so show me Rage 2 because that's why I'm here.
One thing, I think I don't know, maybe I was the only one thought that when they're gonna do that, they'd be showing gameplay behind it, and it actually would have been cool.
Nah.
Yeah, see, and that would have worked, but they didn't do it,
And
and
they
I'm
didn't
like,
do
come
that,
on.
and it was weird.
Yeah. So I know that was like the same thing that I both liked and disliked, but yeah, so that's that. All right, then we get Monday. Heavy hitters were Square Enix, Ubisoft, the PC gaming show, and of course Sony's showing. Shelly, you're up. First thing that you liked and didn't like.
I already talked about one thing I didn't like. I guess one other small thing I didn't like, and it doesn't affect me personally. Well, actually, I guess here's how I'll say it. The fact that they put everyone in a separate place entirely just for The Last of Us and then had them move. I know if I would have been at that conference, I would have been really irritated. It's like, hey, that's kind of cool, but also I don't want to move. I think.
Can you just do everything right here?
Yeah, what annoyed me as watching it was that there are people from Sony who were talking about their own highlights of like one game that they just talked about, like throughout all the transitioning. It's like they had to take a long time for transitioning. It's like, well, I don't want to see these guys talking. I want to see more games. That's what I disliked more than the Assassin's Creed thing, probably. But those were my two, so I don't have any more that I can think of. I liked Spider-Man. Scooter Dude.
Seems like everybody liked Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yep.
Yes.
Anything in particular, or just you liked it and you're excited?
I really like Spider-Man, and I don't know. It just looks really good, and it's one of the reasons I bought a PS4. Was I was looking like, okay, I want a PS4, Xbox One. Which one should I get? And there were a couple, PS4 exclusives. I'm just like, oh, I really want these, and Spider-Man's one of them. So just being able to see more of that made me pretty excited.
Cool.
Yep.
Ned.
well, let's see. There's so many things to dislike. I'm going to go with the PC gaming show and so much battle royale.
Yeah.
So much battle
It had
royale.
like its own section.
I got signed up for the beta that's going to have 1,000 people per game.
Oh my god.
How long is that going to take?
Probably about 5 minutes because he
What are
won't
they
last
gonna
long.
do?
Well, it's a beta, so considering you'll probably get disconnected from the server,
This is
find
fair.
anybody,
Yeah.
it won't take you very long.
Half the people.
Lag kills thousands of players every year.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, Battle Royale can be a fun and engaging mechanic, but it's oversaturated already, and the genre's barely been around for a year.
Hmm.
But we knew that was going to happen. I mean, that's kind of the trend of the market.
Yep. I mean, it's just look at Guitar Hero. It's what happened to it. So
So that was the main thing I disliked is everybody and their grandmother had to have their Battle Royale game. Things I liked. There was actually a number of things I liked, but I keep going. See, the problem is the things I disliked the most and the things I liked the most both came from the same conference, and that was the Ubisoft one.
okay. Well, hit us with it. Do it.
So the thing I liked the most was Beyond Good and Evil 2. I have been waiting for this game so long.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it was just fan service, but showing off Jade as a potential enemy in Beyond Good and Evil 2 was genius.
Yeah, it was really
Mhm.
interesting.
That's a prequel, right?
I
Well,
don't think I've heard
they-
that. Maybe it is.
they've been
right.
kind of iffy about where it falls in the timeline.
Okay. Because I can't remember the character's
I
name.
thought I heard a rumor that it was a prequel too. But
That's what I heard.
Yeah, I can't remember the character's name, but the pig knew her by name.
Yeah.
So
That's the thing too.
that's Mr. Pig.
It's weird thinking about a timeline for a series that technically only has one game in it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But well, not to voice another dislike, but my biggest dislike was connected to that same game, which was the whole Space Monkey program thing, which is one of my most annoying things that companies do is, hey, we're going to have amateur developers come in and basically finish the game for us.
But Joseph
Yeah.
will love it.
Mhm.
I like that guy.
according to
I do too, Shelly.
Thank you.
according to Kotaku, it is most definitely a prequel. I'm not sure where they're getting this information, but
I remember they
That's
specified it in the show.
okay. Well, there you go.
I
Yeah,
feel like
but
I'm gonna have to play that again.
Mhm.
yeah, because how is Pidge going to know who Jade is if this is a prequel and this is their first time meeting?
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I don't get
yeah.
that.
That's why I wasn't sure.
Maybe he's from the alternate universe. He went back in time and now it's different. I don't know.
Oh
Ooh.
no, Lord, no, no.
Yes.
Well, and they didn't necessarily
Timeline,
show us the
no.
opening scene.
True.
Time travel never makes a story better.
Kingdom
No, it
Hearts,
doesn't.
Unless it does.
it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't. All right. Clue.
To the future.
Thing you liked and didn't like.
Thing I liked, I really enjoyed the trailer for Control. We don't actually know anything about the game, but it just looks really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I know Quantum Break was not incredibly successful, but when I saw it, I actually did think of Alan Wake and had no idea that it was like the same studio. I don't usually keep track of that kind of stuff. So aesthetically and, you know, the possibilities of this really weird gameplay. Were really
Interesting
cool to
that
me.
was at Sony's conference because that developer has a real cushy relationship with Microsoft.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, because Alan Wake was a 360 exclusive. Well, it's on PC
Oh,
also.
it was?
And then Quantum
Yeah.
Break is a Xbox One PC exclusive.
Mhm.
I really
as
wish
well.
Quantum Break had worked, but I read, you know, the criticisms of it, and I thought they all were sort of inevitable without like tripling the game's budget at least.
Yeah. They also
So-
did the first two Max Payne games, and I want to say were those not Xbox exclusives at least for a while?
I don't know.
I thought
I
they
don't
were
know
on
if-
PS. I thought they were on
Maybe.
PlayStation.
I don't
know.
I played it on Xbox. So.
I didn't play them, so I don't
Yeah.
can't really say anything. but
Well, anyway, so it was interesting seeing that get revealed at Sony's conference, just because of the relationship the developer
Yeah,
has.
I definitely want to learn more about that one. A dislike, Death Stranding.
Thank you.
I'm
Really?
sorry. I
Okay.
just
Gosh.
Yeah.
it looks gorgeous. Josh and I were talking about this, and he's heard other people say the same thing. I will absolutely watch someone play that game.
Oh,
Mhm.
same.
was-
I
it
feel that
looked-
too, actually. Yeah.
It looks so good, but I mean, you can't call it a gameplay trailer if literally all you're doing is walking around. That's
Yeah.
It's just not. I liked the bad guys. I think the story looks like it could be really, really interesting. Obviously, it's Kojima, so it's going to be insane and probably nonsensical.
Mhm.
But I got a really like upside down vibe from the creepy guys in the sky. But I can't
Yeah.
super get on board with what I've seen so far.
It's really obvious to me that Kojima wants to make a playable movie.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So make a movie.
yeah.
But then he put
Well,
it
it's funny you mentioned that because isn't Death Stranding not only Kojima but also
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Because
I
I
know
knew
that.
You know,
I knew
This
Del
was
Toro.
PT, but then that didn't happen. So I then
Yeah.
remember this going on. So I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Mhm. Cool.
It looks good.
yeah.
That's about all I can say right now.
It does.
Joe.
Yeah, I think the Division 2 looks cool.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the first Division until it got to nothing left to do but the Dark Zone.
I did hear a lot of complaints about that and how the death system penalized you a lot or something.
Well, and I played. I mean, I literally did every single bit of story content that game had to offer on launch. So, with everything that they showed off for the Division 2, I think that's one of my top games of the show as of right now.
Mm.
I got signed up for the beta. I'm excited for that. I think Square overall had a pretty weak show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they showed games that I'm excited about: Dragon Quest XI, Octopath Traveler, Kingdom Hearts 3. But overall, it just didn't feel like it had much impact, start to finish.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you're up.
I like the idea of Death Stranding.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all it is right now, as far as we can tell. Is an idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why I liked it.
Mhm.
And that's why I said I like the idea of it. It seems, well, let's just put it this way: Konami done effed up. That's
Yeah.
all I think of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that Kojima himself, as you said, likes to make playable movies, and you go all the way back to Metal Gear Solid, and you could see that. I mean, I remember reading in like GamePro magazine that they were just crowing about how amazing it was that he was taking all his cues from movies and things like that. When you have like the intro scene with the little flash credits coming up as you're playing through the first levels and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Snake Eater had the opening song like it was a Bond movie.
Yeah, I remember seeing that too and thinking, wow, this is cheesy as hell.
Yeah.
But I love cheesy. Now, the problem that I have, the thing that I don't like is also Death Stranding. Because I hate PlayStation and Sony sucks and everything about it is evil.
All right.
Well, I mean, you get to the point where you're on your phones and you're playing Clash of Clans or some other game like that that has cross-platform play between Apple and Android. You turn around, you're playing Minecraft on PC, Xbox, Switch, and you get all this good stuff going on, and Sony decides to just be the pickle in the apple barrel.
Mhm. Yeah, we talked about that with Sony's response to the whole Fortnite thing, or non-response as it was.
Yeah, lack of response.
Mm-hmm.
Pickle in the apple barrel, that's it.
Yep. All right, Nolan, you're up.
All right. So both of my things have to do with Square Enix.
Okay.
So I'll start with the positive. Kingdom Hearts 3 finally has a release date. I am super stoked. To give you context, I bought a PS3 expecting to get Kingdom Hearts 3.
I am so sorry.
And now
Dang.
it's okay because there were other games that I had on there that I love. That I still
Exactly.
play.
Mhm.
That's how I got into Dark Souls, was on the PS3. So this has been a long time coming that I am super excited about. Like, that was by far the most exciting thing for me was Kingdom Hearts 3. So I am very much looking forward to that. And I haven't really seen what any of the worlds are besides Frozen, apparently. And they're going back to Pirates of the Caribbean.
Toy
I-
Story.
The only two that I know. Oh, right, and Toy Story. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Monsters Inc. as well.
Yeah, Moana
Oh,
better
okay.
be in there. Just
Oh.
saying.
That'd be great.
Because
there's
they
so
literally
many.
have a scene in the movie where the island is consumed by darkness.
yes,
So if you
see,
don't do
that's-
that, like, you're
Mhm.
kind of dumb about it, honestly.
exactly.
They're
So-
always doing all the other animated
Yeah,
movies. So
they-
I wanna.
Mhm.
they wrote it for you.
I mean,
like, you don't have to
there's-
change anything.
I'm hoping they're gonna do some of those that we haven't seen that are like such small little things that they could do. Like, what was that one, like Treasure Planet or something? Or like
I would love a
that
treasure.
would be fantastic. I would love that so much.
Or
I
like
don't
not
expect it to.
Atlantis.
yeah.
Or yes, that too.
No,
Atlantis,
They'd put
yes.
dumb swimming mechanics in there and it would ruin everything.
Oh, that's right. It'd be like freaking Atlantica. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Take it back.
Exactly.
I
take it
It's
back.
too good for the
Nolan,
Wait,
before
do
you
it
get to
later.
your dislike, we've got a viewer in our Twitch chat, Ginzu44. Hello, welcome.
He's
It
probably
is-
wondering
the-
why I'm not playing Bloodborne yet.
One of
Is
the
that-
one. No, he just said he said I'm shicked and then changed it to shocked because apparently he misspelled it. And then I said hello and he said yeah. So yeah, one of the benefits of being the only one in the chat is you get called out on the podcast. So welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. All right, Nolan, thing you didn't like.
Like I said, also has to do with Square Enix, and it's the fact that they showed nothing or didn't even mention Final Fantasy VII Remake.
That's because that game's never coming
that
out.
upsets me so
It's
much.
never coming out ever.
And I'm just like, I
It's
need to
part
know.
of the Mandela effect. Everyone's gonna be
what's-
like, "Yeah, this is a game," and then in the future, we're gonna be like, "No, that never came out."
And that's what I'm worried about. That I'm like, I want it to be, and based on so far, like so many different things, like supposedly the battle mechanic is going to be like Final Fantasy 13, which annoys me so much because I hate that battle mechanic. And even, I mean, I could get by if it was 15. I like the action RPG style of fighting. That's fine. I would appreciate it if it was just back to regular 7. That would be really cool.
Because then it would actually be a remake of Final Fantasy VII and not
Yes.
some other game with
Like,
Final Fantasy VII story.
All I want is Final Fantasy VII in HD that has good voice acting.
Yeah,
and
that's
them not to
exactly
mess with
what I said.
anything
That's
else.
exactly what it needs
like,
to be.
And that's all it needs to be. They don't
Yeah.
need to do anything else.
All it
just
needs to be.
Keep it like that. And they didn't even mention it or do anything. Like, it just
I've tried to play that game so many times and I just can't do it. The Lego arms.
I know.
That's the best
That's
part.
why.
Yeah, I love it.
Like,
Okay, so I don't know what Nolan and Joe mean when they say that, but when I say just make it HD, I actually mean with the original PS1 art style, just do all the assets
No.
the way that it is in high
No.
definition and orchestrate the music and don't do anything else to it.
But I want to.
what it needs to be
That's
is
not
like
pretty
the
Cloud.
end of
I mean,
Crisis
it is
Core,
pretty Cloud.
where we're all
Yes.
excited for Crisis Core. And it said,
graphics.
will return in Final Fantasy VII, which started this whole thing of, are they going to remake this?
Yeah.
I want it to look like that. That's really what it needs to be. And now I'm all like, I'm getting annoyed because I've worked myself into this whole thing. So I'm just going to stop now.
I want admin children models.
Yes!
That also works.
I mean, okay, see, I would be down with that, except I hate the way Cloud looks in that movie. Otherwise, I'm fine with it.
don't remember.
But anyway,
See, you say that. When I played like Dissidia, I usually had that skin on him
Mhm.
just because I don't know, I like the way he looked in that one. I like
But-
original, but
I agree. Otherwise, like orchestrate the music, give good voiceover, and let the rest ride.
yeah.
like
All right.
that's
Real quick, Jimmy's got to take off, so thanks for joining us, Jimmy.
Bye, Jimmy.
You'll have to unmute.
Bye,
that.
Jimmy.
Bye. And,
Night, man.
bye. All right. Anafix, like and a dislike.
Okay, before I get into that, I want to show Clue Pretty Cloud.
What?
Oh,
There you go. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and then there's it's backwards, but it says ribbons. Static ailments no more, save for possible loss of manhood.
It's actually it's only backwards for you, actually.
Yeah, it's only back
really?
to we thought. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that looks right.
Weird thing.
Yeah.
Well, I can't see y'all's perception of me. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Um,
Probably fine.
yeah,
That's adorable. Thank you.
you're welcome. Favorite, easily Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Scooter dude.
I mean,
Dude.
each time I see more things about this, it just looks better and better. And I actually have pre-ordered it. So, yeah, I fell into the trap, but maybe it's a good trap.
Mhm.
I understand.
And at the end, I'm speculate that it is Stan Lee on a Goblin glider.
That'd be the best.
Just the
As long as he's
DLC.
shouting
Just Spider-Man
Excelsior the
turns
whole
into him.
time.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not the first time he's actually been a playable character in a Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, you're actually Stan Lee. But I mean, he played just like Spider-Man, but you were Stan
Mhm.
Lee instead. It was
That's
funny.
awesome.
What did I dislike? I had it and I lost it.
Must not have had that much of an impact on you.
Yeah, because every time I try to think of it, I just keep on thinking about all the glorious backpacks in Death Stranding. You know, like the dead
Baby
body
backpacks.
backpack
Mhm.
and the baby backpack and the
What is with the baby?
European
Oh.
vacation backpack with all like the suitcases bundled together. And
Mhm.
And then the ones that trail behind you.
yes, I was just like, how many different backpacks are there going to be?
Just Backpack Simulator.
You
That's
actually
right.
have to buy those.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a microtransaction.
Yeah.
It said right on his vest he's a porter.
That's right. There's actually one little thing about that that disturbed me more than anything, and that was that woman eating that thing at the end that kind
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
a tiny baby or something. What was that?
No, it was a bug. So I had to watch a video to help explain what my eyes had seen because I was gonna have nightmares if I didn't parse the information properly. There's a theory that those bugs give you temporary immunity to the rain, which apparently makes you age faster. So I assume that the baby at the tank
What?
is like his replacement body because when he dies because of the time acceleration thing, the baby is older.
It's
I don't
a
know.
literal respawn mechanic.
Yeah, basically.
Oh my.
But like, why you
Wow.
gotta tap on the glass to wake the baby up? That's creepy.
I'm just
That's
glad it's a
what I
bug,
heard.
not a fetus.
No, it's like,
'Cause
hey,
that's
yeah,
what I
no,
thought
it's
it
definitely
was.
not a fetus.
Thank you.
Yes, that's what I was worried about. It's like,
So-
It was flesh colored. It was
Yeah, please don't eat
squirmy.
babies.
This is weird.
and then she
Yeah.
smiled afterwards and was like, delicious. Do you have any more?
Rude. Rude.
Yeah.
Get that out of my face.
All right. Okay, so my like and dislike. I'm gonna start with my dislike, and I want to make it very clear. I'm not talking about the games that were shown off. I'm talking about the conference itself. Sony's conference was just bad. It wasn't. The weird music, just like with the Andrew WK thing during Bethesda's, weird musical numbers. That's like,
The
what are
banjo.
you doing? Why is this happening? There's the weird flute thing that was going on, and the banjo, and I'm just like, why are you doing this? And it showed, well, okay, so Microsoft kind of bucked the trend by just kind of even though I wasn't impressed with the Halo thing and on and on and on. Just game after game after game after game after game. That's what you do. The reason Nintendo got out of doing these press conferences was because they're needlessly long and there's a whole bunch of stuff in it that doesn't need to be in it. It was about trimming the fat and just showing the games. And most of the time, not every time, but most of the time, Nintendo Directs really do that well. And Sony's conference was just like a big highlight of this is why this is an old, antiquated way of showing off games and why developers shouldn't do it anymore. That's what I think about it. As for good stuff, I am a really big fan of Sunset Overdrive. So I'm excited about Spider-Man. I don't have a PlayStation 4 and I don't have any intention of ever getting one again. So I'm probably not going to be able to play it unless I go over to someone's house. But I'm excited for the game. It
I'll
looks
play it with you.
like
Just come
it
over.
looks like a lot of I'll just drive over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just come up here.
So I'm excited about that. And if anyone out there has an Xbox One and has not played Sunset Overdrive, you're doing yourself a
Oh my
great
gosh.
service. The game is amazing.
It's so
Go
good.
play it. It's so much fun.
It's almost too meta.
A little
I
bit.
say that
Occasionally, it's a
loving
little.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like
So
not the game. I didn't play the game. I told that was a hot mess.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's. I'm excited about that. Yeah, I'm disappointed that I won't get to play it because I don't have a PS4. Also, there needs to be a skin in Spider-Man where you get to play a Spider Pig. Just saying.
That would be fun.
Yep.
Isn't there still a skin they haven't revealed yet for the pre-order?
Maybe it's Spider Pig. Although they
You know
would.
what I would like for that though? Would honestly be if they made a Spider Gwen skin.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Really sick.
I mean, you said that like I'm not serious about Spider Pig because
Oh no!
totally
I
serious
yeah,
about Spider Pig.
That'd be the only plan if there was in fact a Spider Pig.
Right.
Like by
I gotta
far.
ask it real quick. The
Uh-huh.
end of the Spider-Man trailer, somebody shows up, and then it cuts. Who shows up?
Spider Pig.
It's Stan Lee on the Goblin Glider, like I said.
Okay, see, I guess I didn't pick up on that. I interpreted because doesn't it end with like he asked some question and he's like you? I thought he was talking about the audience.
I
Not
think
some
it's
other-
Miles Morales.
Oh, I don't know.
That would be
other-
cool.
Miles
Yeah.
So we're gonna have two Spider-Men in the same game.
Though the thing
I
that
don't know.
throws me off is that there's like a spotlight or something. Like there's like a light shining on him, and that's why I jokingly said like the Goblin Glider, but it might be some flying guy with like lights or something.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Static
Um,
Shock.
Good
No,
observation.
Wrong
That'd be
universe.
Ooh, just
And like, what
That'd
about
be
Doc
pretty cool.
Ock? Or I mean,
Batman.
Yeah, I don't know. Doc Ock's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's get through our next like and dislike, and then move on to the next day, which is basically just Nintendo. Shelly, you got anything?
Nintendo. What? One thing more. I don't know. I'd say I always get really frustrated. I don't know. Maybe this is a like and a dislike. I always get frustrated when there's games that are being released on multiple platforms, but it's like, oh, but only if you get it on this platform, you get this special character, this special
Right.
thing. So it kind of irritates me that you can only get Star Fox on the Switch, but it also makes sense.
Well, but
I'm
that's
also
going
excited that it is Star Fox, so I'm like not complaining that much about it.
Yeah. So, like in that situation, I mean, that's just because it's a first-party IP that I expect.
Yeah.
But like, if in with remember Soul Calibur 4?
Oh yes.
You got Yoda on one and Darth Vader on the other. I mean, they did
Oh.
eventually wind up selling you the other on the opposite, and there was a big, but like that kind of exclusive where there's not really a reason for it
Yeah.
other than just money. Yeah, that I'm down with you there. I think
Yeah.
it's goofy and they shouldn't do it.
Yeah, so obviously it's like with Starlink, I'm not actually upset about it at all. It's
Mhm.
just like it reminded me that trend is a thing that I don't like. So,
Mhm.
that's that. So I don't know if that's a like or dislike. That's just something.
It can be both.
Yeah, I guess what I did like is that they're making another Trials game that I wasn't expecting. Trials is so
Oh, yeah,
ridiculous
yeah. Mhm.
and frustratingly amazing. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ned.
Well, since we're doing dislikes first, The Last of Us Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
The first one had a blasted near perfect ending. Why do we need a second one?
I say that about lots of things. Why can't it just be?
The devs said they wanted to explore primal emotions. So the first one was like that devotion that you have to your child and how you would move planets for them. This one is about revenge, which seems a lot more cliche. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I thought largely the same thing as about a lot of games. The first BioShock game when I heard there was going to be a second one, I was like, what? Why?
Mhm.
And although I will admit the Minerva's Den DLC to BioShock 2 was amazing, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, The Last of Us Part 2, the whole thing, there was some controversy over what was actually shown in that trailer. That doesn't bother me nearly as much as why is the story was told. You can only bring it down from here.
Mhm. That's how I felt. Going back to Halo, that's why I think it's weird that Microsoft insists on putting Master Chief in everything. When Halo 3 was over, that was the perfect send-off for that character. Why did you dig him up and bring him back? It's over. Move on. But that's just me.
Wait, who?
Master Chief. The end of Halo 3. It was perfect.
Oh, okay.
And then they bring him back for 4, and it's like, why?
It's like,
Yeah.
who's Master Chief?
No, I missed part of what you said. I'm like, wait, who came back?
No,
Okay.
yeah, so.
I thought you said Reach. So I'm like, wait.
Well,
Whoa.
no.
Hold on.
No, the end of Reach was the beginning of Combat Evolved.
I know. Somehow I was thinking that you said that at the end of the beginning of one of the other ones, someone from Reach comes back. I'm like,
No.
someone was still alive?
No, they're all decidedly dead. All right, and then thing you liked?
Thing I liked. Well, it was about 50-50 on either one of these, so I'll just kind of throw them both in there. I liked what I saw of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and I liked what I saw of Jurassic Park Evolution. And I've seen some gameplay from that one as well, from various YouTubers starting to play early builds of it. And it looks like Roller Coaster Tycoon with dinosaurs, and I love that idea.
That does sound like a lot of fun.
It seems like the Jurassic Park game we all wanted, whereas basically, I don't know if this is true. I haven't really seen anything because I don't really want to ruin it for myself, but I also kind of want to know what it's about. But I always thought it'd be cool as if it was you build the park, and then it seems like you finish and the credits roll, and then everything goes wrong and you have to escape. I don't know if that's actually.
Dude, that would be awesome.
That would be great.
No, it's kind of like SimCity, where if you get tired of everything working normally, you just turn on all the natural disasters.
Yeah.
But in this case, the disasters are the dinosaurs.
Yeah,
okay.
you just go to the paddock and you open the gate and you watch what happens.
Yep.
Or you can even take a helicopter and carry a dinosaur and drop him in the middle of a crowd and just watch.
Yes.
See, that's less exciting then. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll watch some people play, but I'm like,
yeah.
If it's basically Jurassic Park like Sims, then I'm not interested.
Well,
But
there's also see, one of the things you can do in the game is you can splice certain genes into your dinosaurs you create to make them smarter, make them faster, make them more aggressive, have them better immune response.
right.
Oh.
Make them like babies better.
There was one player I saw who spliced in the intelligence gene into the raptors. The raptors figured out how to open the gate.
Nolan, you said The Sims with the Jurassic Park, but it's The Sims, and now I'm picturing The Sims, but everyone's wearing that ridiculous T-Rex outfit. But otherwise, it's the same thing, and I'm like, that's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah. All right. Clue.
Good idea.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Sushi.
Looks
Sushi.
gorgeous.
Yeah. it
I
does.
am actually
So many
just
samurai games.
Yeah, I just happened to catch one of the developers talking to Rooster Teeth about it, and I was heartbroken that the last question, obviously you ask a developer, so is there a release window? And the guy's response was literally like, oh man, I don't know. We just showed this off to the world for the first time, so who knows what's gonna happen? Which after all this talk of the procedurally generated sky and the clouds and everything on the screen is constantly moving, and you have 30,000 particles on the floor or whatever.
Right.
To
all
hear
those
that there's
leaves.
they're gorgeous, and to hear that there's absolutely no end in sight for the dev team, and no beginning to our experience with it made me super sad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Darman
was
in the
like-
chat is there needs to be a rule: if you don't have a year, don't post it up.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah,
a decent
no
rule.
kidding.
That's a decent rule.
That is a good rule.
Like, sure, Elder Scrolls 6 is a thing that exists, and I feel like stuff like that they just say to address the rumors because everyone was talking about it anyway. But
Well, yeah, it was kind of
give
like
us a date, man.
it was like that's why Nintendo showed us a logo and nothing more for Metroid Prime 4
Yeah.
last year. It was
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
it's people are talking about it. Let's just
Yes,
go ahead
we
and put the rumors to
acknowledge
rest. It's
Yeah.
being developed.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why Bethesda showed Starfield and the
Right.
Elder Scrolls 6 was
Yeah.
so that it was a fig leaf. You know, yes, it's in development. Please don't riot.
hmm
Please see you back here in 5 years. Goodbye.
After
Um,
release 2 more Skyrims.
was that well? They've already done one of the 2 more Skyrims because it's on
Exactly.
Alexa. So now you just need your
That's
your,
right.
Please.
your other one. So, was that your like and dislike,
Yes, combined all
All right.
together.
Joe?
Neo 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. See, I still need to play the first one.
Yeah.
The first one is really good. I enjoyed the whole thing quite a bit.
Mhm.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, it looked good. Although it's supposedly it's much harder than Dark Souls.
It's
Like
definitely
crushingly.
different.
That's all I've heard is that it's crushingly more difficult. I'm like, oh, all right.
It's definitely different. I love all the Japanese lore and the weaponry and the stances tied into it all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dislike Sony's press conference, the way they opened it up with The Last of Us 2 being so aggressive with the sexuality
Mhm.
kind of
Awkwardly long.
bothered me.
kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Yeah, I understand. That seems
I bet she's gonna die in the first scene anyway. Like that's the only way I can see her existing.
I mean, like,
Here's
the
this
DLC
love
from the
interest
first game.
who's so spicy
mhm.
dies. Let's
Well,
move on with
Get
the
my
rest of the
Just so
game.
forced.
Well, how interesting is she if like she totally had a flashback to murdering a bunch of people during the thing?
Trauma. She's
Yeah.
probably a terrible girlfriend.
Oh well.
So I talked briefly about this on another episode. Unless the story that you're trying to tell is a love story, I think love interest in that story generally muddy the plot or the main story that you're trying to tell. And so my beef with romance and sexuality and stuff in stories, you know, because I know like we're a Christian channel, so anybody who might be watching this who's not Christian, or even if you are Christian, you're expecting me to say like what bothered me is that it's a lesbian relationship, and I'm like it would probably have bothered me if she was making out with a dude.
Mhm.
It's not the you know the that part of it that is what bugs me. It's romance in stories that are not centrally romance stories generally don't add anything to the characters except cliche nonsense, and so I just assume it wasn't part of it at all. And I think this isn't in it for because Naughty Dog's and then I don't know the story. I could be completely off base here, but I don't think that this is in it because Naughty Dog's trying to tell a romance story. I think it's in there because they're trying to pander to a certain subset of their fan base, and this is how they're doing it.
Right.
That's the opinion that I agree with as well.
Yeah. Mhm.
And look at the original game. The original game had none of that in there.
Right.
Awesome.
Like, yeah, short of the DLC, that really wasn't anything.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
And the DLC
Interesting.
was more
When-
about that.
It's like when it comes to Bioware games, you have to have romance options or people are going to be upset. If it comes to like Naughty Dog, if you have romance, people are going to be really upset.
Yeah.
'Cause you know the type of games these people develop. So
Well,
yeah.
I mean, Naughty Dog's Uncharted, and they do romance really
Oh,
well
wow.
in the
Oh
Uncharted
yeah,
series.
but is that like a? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. But I've never played Uncharted, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right, Nolan.
Yeah.
Your last
Um,
like and dislike for that day.
let's see, what was my dislike? I'm like, I was looking through here trying to see. I mean, I guess Death Stranding, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I like when they make like really impressive games that work like a movie, but at the same time I'm like I'm here to play a game. I'm not here to watch cutscenes for hours on end, and that being the main part of it. So that kind of, based on what I've heard and what I've been seeing, it's kind of what it seems like it's going to be. I'll still might check it out, but it, like some of you guys were saying, that like it'd be better to watch someone play than for me to actually play.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah.
And then the thing you liked?
As the thing I like, it's kind of, I mean, Spider-Man looks cool. I'll say that because it does look cool.
I thought you were saving Kingdom Hearts 3 for today, so where's that?
I already talked about Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, he
That was the
did.
first one.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't know where I'm at.
Talk for half an hour for that alone.
Yeah.
The other thing is like the other, like, so From Software like revealed 3 games, which I find that to be amazing.
Mhm.
The other one, like one of these, is the other one is Deracine, or however you say that, is a PSVR game that
Interesting.
I'm very interested in. That there's not a lot about it so far. It has some kind of time mechanic, but it seems really interesting, which it might have me break down and get a PSVR. I don't know. It depends on what it is, but it looks interesting enough as is to where I might just do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a little more information.
Oh, for sure. Like I'm gonna make sure that this is
That's
actually
a
something
big
I want before I
investment.
go. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
Before you go drop $300 on another toy.
on
Just-
a
There was
yeah,
some other VR thing that made me and Josh like, oh, well, maybe it's worth the money. Like Josh
Mhm.
flipped a lid and a half when they showed the Kingdom Hearts like special edition PlayStation 4.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as getting like the whole other periphery, this particular trailer was not enough to convince me that it was worth it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
not
But
so
some
far.
other stuff is coming out.
I am hoping it's going to be better.
Yeah.
And that I'll actually like it, because like I've tried other VRs before and it just makes me sick. Like
Mhm.
I get motion sick pretty easy. Genzu can attest to that to an extent. And just so it kind of like VR headsets kind of, I'm like, it's not my big thing. So the fact that this alone makes me maybe want to get this says a lot. So
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Anafix.
One. So I also like the look of the Division 2. I didn't get a chance to play the first one, but it's one of those ones where had I have done so, I definitely had friends I could have played with. And this is another one that looks like it'd be a blast to get like a crew going in there and just shooting everything. And so I thought that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
As far as dislikes go, you pretty much covered what I didn't already say. The whole musical act thing
Mhm.
just was unnecessary.
Yeah. And weird.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right. Something I liked. I like that the conference of Ubisoft's, there's the Star Fox thing. And then I don't remember if this was shown at their conference or not, but at some point during E3, Ubisoft announced that the newest Just Dance game is coming to the Wii. Not W-I-I with no U at the end of it. The Wii. But anyway, there's the Star Fox thing. There's the new DLC for Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which I haven't played that game yet. I hear it's really great. So what I'm getting at is I like the relationship that Nintendo and Ubisoft seem to be cultivating with each other. I'm excited about where that's going to lead in the future. Maybe we'll get, we're already seeing Bethesda give us like, should I say, dumbed down versions of some of their games like Wolfenstein and Doom on the Switch. I hope that means that we'll get some of that out of Ubisoft. Maybe we get like a less pretty version of the new Assassin's Creed games and the Far Cry games on Switch. I don't know that it's ever going to turn into that, but I at least like what it is happening with that, and I'm excited about that. I don't like trailers that don't really tell me what the game is. And so I don't really care for that trailer for Death Stranding. I'm pretty sure that trailer for The Last of Us 2 was all just cinematics. So like, okay, what is this game? And that's like a same thing with the Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailers that have come out. Like, I don't know anything about this game. I don't know why you're showing it to me. I need some meat and potatoes and not this watery junk that you keep showing me. So that's just the thing with most developers at E3. I will say Microsoft's really good about making sure you see gameplay unless they just don't have any gameplay to show you, which was the Halo Infinite trailer. And then Nintendo is always excellent about showing you gameplay. And so I appreciate that about the two of them. And I wish other developers were more likely to just, hey, we're either going to show you gameplay or we're not really going to show you anything. That's my take on that. All right. The last day is, and again, one developer is going to get the brunt of all of it because they were the only one with a presentation that day, and that is Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Shelly, something you liked and didn't
Smash.
like.
Smash.
Yes.
Smash. Smash.
Smash all day long. And
Oh,
all right, that's what you didn't like, right? You hated Smash.
I love Smash. Okay.
I still have wounds from the last time I played her in Smash.
Yeah.
right. I'm so excited.
Okay. Anything in particular about Smash that you liked, or just you're just sad about Smash?
Of course, everyone's freaking out about how you could have every character. I think what I'm equally as excited about is it looks like you can have every stage. Like, I saw stages for Melee.
I wonder if that's going to happen. If they're not going to like everything.
I mean, it's called Ultimate. I would imagine everything all together.
There's like classic stages in there, Zella's Castle and stuff like that, which made me really excited. And also they said you can have them all in Omega or Battlefield form, which means for competitive play, you can have any aesthetic you want and it's still the same thing. And I think that's
cool.
Nice.
That's
and
really
just
cool.
the fact that they're really trying to appeal more for a competitive audience, I think is really cool, because the Smash 4 competitive community is pretty big, and I think they're seeing that and they want to cater to that, but also remember those who play Smash casually, and I feel like they're doing a really good job with balancing those things. Here's all these cool characters, your favorite characters, but also here's some new tech that we need to tell you about. Like, here's some attack changes that we need to tell you about. So I'm pretty excited for that. Did not think they were going to add Ridley, but they added Ridley.
Yeah. Like, out of nowhere. What was that?
So
finally, especially after people have been wanting Ridley in a game since
Ridley's
Brawl.
been the most popular, wanted character.
And because Sakurai has numerous times said, we have tried Ridley in this game and it doesn't work. It's not going to happen. Please stop asking. It was so crazy to see that it happened.
I know. Well, I mean, they put Charizard. I mean, the way I'm looking at this, he looks similar to Charizard. And the way he moves in some ways. Not everything.
Now that you bring that up, that might make sense since Charizard is now back to being part of Pokemon Trainer.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just Pokemon Trainer.
You can also have a female Pokemon Trainer. Yeah. I love that. All the weird aesthetic changes they did too. That's like, they didn't need to do this, but they went the extra mile. They made Mark go to English, and they had the different costumes, and I'm very excited.
Wow. Yeah. All right, and then something you didn't like.
Oh gosh. I guess I'm sad they didn't talk about Metroid Prime 4. And I'm sad that they didn't have, I don't know, I guess I'm a little bit sad they didn't have more. I understand Smash was the big one and that's like the main one they wanted to feature, but I think it would have been cool to see like if they were working on like a new Pikmin game or Animal Crossing, and was one that they are just like, this would be perfect for Switch. So it would have been cool to see those things, but I'm not gonna be upset that they didn't show them. But with Metroid Prime 4, it's like, oh, it would have been really nice because that's one that they've confirmed is happening.
Yeah,
right.
And then I have more likes too, but we'll get around to that.
Yeah. Ned.
We kind of already talked about it, but the Starlink announcement, and they kind of repeated that for the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
I that's one of the few games that I might actually consider getting.
Other than Pokemon?
It's one of the few games that I would actually consider buying the toys for.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyone know if the toys are required for that game to work?
You don't have to take them with you. I don't know if you can unlock them without buying them.
Okay.
But they did specifically say once you load it in, you can customize everything digitally.
Okay.
That's good to know.
And as for my dislike, why did they repeat all the Pokemon info?
Thank you. I was actually going to bring that up. Revealed
For
nothing
what?
new. The Pokemon stuff. They had like a couple weeks ago an entire night dedicated to Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and Eevee, and then Reggie basically just regurgitated it in 3 minutes. It made no sense.
Right.
We're all baby birds, apparently.
He added nothing new to that conversation, and it was weird.
I mean, I get it's E3, you want to announce your big titles that are coming up, but good grief, anyone who knew about Pokemon who cared about Pokemon had heard this already.
Yeah. So, no, I agree. It was really out of place and kind of broke up the flow of the rest of the Direct.
It really felt like it was just kind of stuck in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
especially after coming right after Daemon X Machina.
I know. Like, what was that? But I'm sure I'm already certain that someone else is going to bring up Daemon X Machina. So, all right, Clue, like and a dislike.
Favorite thing about probably all of E3 actually was that they had professional players for Smash and like an actual invitational tournament, which was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But they also had casual players. Zelda Williams showed up to play some Smash with Andre, Black Nerd Comedy on YouTube. Like, I'm a fan of his. And like, it was such a relief for someone who enjoys Smash but absolutely does not know what they're doing. To see that like the game moves just as quickly and is just as fluid and just as much fun to play if you're just wildly mashing buttons and trying not to fall off the stage versus having, you know, invested literally years of a career into this game. It looked like everyone was really having fun with the new system and all the changes they've made. So I really appreciated that.
Cool. Dislike.
I didn't really have anything that was like a major letdown. I'm not super attached to a whole lot of franchises. Splatoon is really the only Nintendo game that I was like dying for this DLC to come out. But, you know, I'm not super into Animal Crossing or anything like that. So I understand why people would be upset, but I just had fun watching people play Smash.
Cool. Joe.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I like Fire Emblem.
Yes, that was the game I really liked.
I'm not a Fire Emblem fan, but that looked.
I like Fire Emblem, but to see it finally come to a proper console is going to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm more of an Advance Wars guys, but we're never going to get another one of those.
I like Advance Wars a lot. It's not going to happen.
Freaking. That would bum me out about Battalion Wars, but sorry.
I also can't believe I'm saying this for the negative. Smash.
So why?
And I'll explain why. I think it's going to be a great game. I didn't need to see a 30-minute patch notes video.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't need to see it. It was completely unnecessary and a waste of everybody's time.
I wouldn't say everybody.
Apparently, Josh has something to say to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I actually
know not a lot of people care.
See, I actually agree with you. I'm super excited for Smash. I think that they should have done like a good 5 minutes of explaining that yes, every character is going to be in this, and this is for the fans of this game, and then like next week give us that video as its own thing. I think that would have been better.
Yeah, it's show us the new characters, show us the changes you're making to the stages, show us a bevy of the old characters, maybe even hit one or two of them and say, here's something significant that's changing about it. I didn't need to see 35 characters and what tiny minutia changed with them.
Right. No, I agree. I actually agree with you. Mm-hmm.
They were
So-
catering hard to that pro scene.
They were.
Oh, they were,
Probably
yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
best time to do it.
I think the difference, I think too, is that they were treating it as a Nintendo Direct and not as an E3 conference thing, which is like they would definitely do that for just a Direct that
Yeah.
they do any other time.
Mhm. Yeah.
But the fact that it was like at E3 and not just Nintendo people were watching, I don't think they really considered
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like I said, I'm excited for Smash. I think that looks cool, but I didn't need the video to be what it was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, right there with you. All right, Nolan.
I mean, freaking Ridley was the most amazing thing. I saw that and I missed that the first time, like reading through stuff, and somehow I missed that Ridley was on there. I thought
Mhm.
he was gonna be like a trophy or something. That it's like in the movie or TV show, where it's all of a sudden your vision just like on these couple words, just like sorry, I didn't mean to bump that. Just like playable character. I'm like, huh. So it was so I think Ridley was probably the biggest thing that I like. I mean, in addition to just, hey, here's everything from all of the Smash Bros games, and that's just so that was pretty cool. So what I didn't like, I mean, I don't know. I guess Fortnite, I don't know. Like,
Really?
I'm okay with that selection.
I'm like, the fact that, like, oh, hey, Fortnite's on the Switch. I'm just like, all right, cool. I cared absolutely none at all. That was the worst, I think, sentence I've ever said structurally. But yeah, like, I'm like, okay, did the Switch really need Fortnite? I understand that, like, hey, now you can play it on this. Now it's on everything. But at the same time, I'm like, is there going to be some, like, hot Fortnite Switch situation going on that, like, oh, man, like, I don't know. So to me, that's kind of just seemed unnecessary, and it's free, so it's not a cash grab, but at the same time, it just seems like that's essentially what it is. So,
Well, okay, so I actually want to make the argument that while does Switch need Fortnite, I think need is a strong word, but in considering how big Fortnite is and that it's like a topic of conversation almost anywhere and even in mainstream media, people are talking about. I mean, it's usually negative because they're trying to convince you that video games are gonna scramble your
cause
brain.
violence.
But it's a topic of conversation, and now that Fortnite is on Switch, Switch is now part of that conversation that is happening everywhere. And so, again, need is a strong word, but you don't want the conversation around Fortnite and Switch to be, oh, hey, by the way, it's not on this.
Right.
So,
Hmm.
And I understand that. Like, I can see why they're doing it. There's a lot of things there, but at the same time, I'm just like, this just seemed unnecessary and just seemed like a, hey, we're gonna put this on here so that way we can get all these other people just as a so.
mhm. So, all right.
Yeah.
Anifix.
Mine's Damon Ex Machina.
Yep.
Dude, I was watching that trailer just now. That was like the most amazing thing. Like I think you could see me just like I was doing this, like listening to that music and watching. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
like,
I'm so excited. It came out of nowhere. Like, what is this? And it looks amazing.
So the thing about this is not something you would expect to find on a Nintendo console necessarily. It just looks like it's got a lot of killer action in it, and robots, and more robots. But a cool thing I found out, I looked into this a little bit. So you've got the guy behind the Armored Core series behind this.
Okay.
You've also got the guy from Macross and Escaflowne doing like some designs for this.
yeah.
You've also got a guy who worked on Fire Emblem games behind this. You've got a composer from Soul Calibur doing music, as well as a guy from Tekken, and they both have great music.
Mhm.
And then they even have some guys from like Monster Hunter games. So
Just a lot of stuff.
they have a lot of like these guys who have worked on these great projects on there. Like some of them, I guess, dare say, even legendary in the genre. So I mean, what could possibly go wrong at this point?
Well. We've had dream teams before that came up with real turds. So
Yeah.
but yeah, no, that's now what I'm not sure about this. Did Nintendo just get to reveal it and it's going to be on other stuff, or is this a Switch exclusive?
That's a good point.
It's actually, as from what I'm seeing, it's a Switch exclusive.
That's interesting.
I feel like if it was on other stuff, it probably would have been talked about like during like
Yeah,
like
like later
Microsoft or
something.
Sony. So that would make
Yeah.
a certain amount of sense.
Seems to just be coming to the Switch in 2019.
Yeah.
Sweet. All
That
right,
looks cool, though.
and a dislike.
I think they made a terrible choice in the reveal character for Smash. It should have been Mother Brain instead.
No, we
Dinosaur
all know who
Mother
it
Brain,
really
right?
should have been.
Yeah.
Should have been Waluigi.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I want Waluigi in the game, not as an assist trophy, but as a
Never happened. It's
No,
never
but for
happened.
real, they said that it was not possible to put Ridley in the game.
Yeah, and then they did it.
And then they did it. It's like, why is it suddenly possible now?
Maybe Sakurai was planning it for this, like way back when. He's like, "Nah, we're gonna wait, and then it's gonna be there, and everyone's gonna flip their lids,
Yeah.
or not."
Shoot, what was I gonna? No, I was gonna say something. No, I don't remember what it was. Oh no, about Waluigi. Did you guys see the meme of the one where everyone's here and the dude shoots
Yes!
Waluigi?
Yeah, that's how I felt. I was so sad. I
The-
told myself that if Waluigi was a playable character, I would work my butt off to try to make that my main.
that made him
I
Main
think a lot of
Waluigi.
people would.
be awesome.
There's still time. There's still time.
Yeah, it could.
Uh,
It'll be a
DLC.
it'll be a DLC character.
would buy it.
30. It'll
I'd
be
buy that.
$30.
I would buy. I'd buy Luigi for 30 or Waluigi for $30.
Yeah.
If somehow he'd be like the lankiest and like worst to try and like counter somehow, just
Mhm.
because.
All right, I'm actually gonna start with my dislikes, and it's mostly with the tone of the direct, in general, and I will admit this is mostly because I'm comparing it to previous E3 directs. Nintendo usually, even during the Wii U, their E3 presentations were on point. They knocked it out of the park. There's the very last one that Iwata was still alive for, where they did the puppets. And then last year's E3 was just phenomenal. And this year, it seemed, I don't know. Like I said, there was the weird Pokemon thing in the middle of it. They spent, like Joe already talked about, 25, 30 minutes, however long it was, talking about one game that would have been better suited for its own thing. And then I'm also disappointed in they didn't mention Yoshi, the Yoshi Switch game, at all. And last year they said it was slated for 2018. And so
Well,
that
maybe they're not doing it. He had tax problems, right? Like
yeah.
Reggie's having some issues, man.
maybe. And no mention of Animal Crossing, no Mario Maker. I mean, come on, the Mario
That's
Maker
supposed to be a thing.
It's got to be coming to Switch.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
I don't know.
of all the
about that.
ports from Wii U,
It has
it
to.
makes more sense.
So it just
Yes. I
the
don't know.
whole tone of the presentation just seemed really off, especially considering how on point Nintendo has been since the initial Switch reveal back in November of 2016, and then the big night of Switch. And even though that was crazy, a lot of weird stuff happened that night. It was it was good, that January reveal, and they've just been on it. And this just seemed like they were a little off their game. Now, stuff I liked, I loved that we didn't just get, Smash Brothers is coming holiday 2018. We got a date. And I think, except for the fact that I think this Fire Emblem game that they showed is missing the release window that they gave us when they initially talked about it. Fire Emblem's if that's true, and again, I didn't go research it again, but I'm almost certain that it's missing the window that we originally got. And if that's the case, Fire Emblem's the only game that's come out for Switch that they've missed their target date. And so I'm pretty confident that when Nintendo's like, this is coming out on December 7th, I'm pretty sure it's December 7th, 2018, that they're going to hit that. And I'm excited that they committed to that. All right. One more like and dislike, Shelly.
Yeah. So like would definitely be Fire Emblem. I'm kind of a Fire Emblem fangirl. So I would have been really upset if they didn't talk about Fire Emblem. Because they're like, oh, it's gonna come out, and I'm like, talk about it. I'm done playing Warriors. Warriors isn't the same. So it looks really good. I think it's super cool how they brought back like Path of Radiance type look for the gameplay of like, or the style of the battlefield, but also you can like bring mobs in, and you can like run around with your character. It's so crazy to see how like Fire Emblem's changed so much with every iteration. I feel like especially the jump between Awakening to Fates to Echoes to this, like there's been significant changes with all of them, which is kind of crazy. But either way, I'm really, really excited for that. I'll definitely get it probably the first day. Even if it's a trash game, I'll still love it. Because that's me with Fire Emblem. And things I dislike, kind of what you guys all said already about like they did not need to talk about Pokemon. It did kind of seem like with that, as well as how long Smash was, they just didn't have a lot to talk about. So they just were like, okay, let's throw in the stuff that everyone clearly wants to hear. And like, yes, I did want to hear about Smash, but I didn't need to hear more about Pokemon. So we already kind of talked about that. Also, I don't even know if they talked about it in the E3 or if it was released afterwards, but the fact that when you get the weird little Pokeball contraption, it comes with Mew, and that's like the only way to get Mew. And I hate that because Mew's my favorite, and they still have yet to release Mew in a way that you like can just skip the game for.
So you mentioned that. I forgot that they brought that up. So Reggie actually did mention something that we didn't know before, that Mew comes with the Pokeball. He didn't need an entire 3-minute segment to do that.
Right, yeah.
But I guess that does change it a little bit. He did announce something that we didn't know already. And
I knew I wasn't going to get that Pokeball, and now I'm like, oh, I love Mew though, but I got to say no. I'm
just say no to weird $40. I don't know how much that thing's gonna cost.
Yeah, it's so expensive. I don't think there has been a single game, like main game, and I guess this is a spin-off, but I consider it more of a main game than most other spin-offs. It's actually in Kanto, it's based off Yellow. Where you can get Mew just from getting the game. Every other time it's like you have to do this other thing or get this other thing, and that irritates me a lot. So.
Furious Brad's telling me to wrap it up because he needs Joe for Fortnite. We're getting we're getting there.
Sorry, I had lots of opinions on Nintendo because it's the only one I really care about.
Shelly, I have no doubt that we'll probably spend an entire episode here in the near future talking about Smash Brothers. So when we do, I'll extend you an invitation. You can come and geek out with us. So.
I'm done.
All right, Ned. One more like and dislike.
About Nintendo?
Or the last day. So if something else happened other than Nintendo's. Well, and you know what? Since I hadn't specifically planned on doing a thing for yesterday and today, I guess you can throw them in there. But those are just show floor stuff, so.
Yeah, and honestly, there wasn't anything that huge on the show floor. There was an odd little thing when they showed the Bethesda booth for the Wolfenstein Cyberpilot VR game that they're doing, where it's like you're taking control of the cyborg stuff that the Nazis are developed, and you're using it against them. And it's like set in the 80s, it's supposed to be all cyberpunky. The thing I noticed was they had it displayed in this like acrylic walled glass room, but they had like these 2 huge in-room air conditioners in there because that thing's got to be a hot box.
Yeah.
Because if you've got a person in there playing, a projector, a high-end gaming PC, in what essentially is a clear walled structure,
a greenhouse.
Yeah, essentially
Yeah.
a greenhouse. So I found that rather surprising, but
Mhm.
it was things I disliked. Usually there's some little thing that we discover from the show floor, and I really didn't see any of that this year. There wasn't. It was like, here's all the big massive reveals, and then not really much else.
Yeah, it seemed to me like if you were there on the show floor, like for a very specific reason, you were there to play Smash or Splatoon. That seemed to be the hype on the floor. Was those two things. Or if you were Patrick Fagan, you showed up because you were interested in Sega for some reason. All right,
Lad.
Clue.
Nothing from the show floor, I don't think. But
Yeah.
I'm just glad those third-party games are making their way onto the Switch and in the indie games. Overcooked 2 was announced. Really hyped for that. I love playing that game with all of my siblings. Yeah, I don't know. I had a good time watching.
Cool. Joe?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. I accidentally closed out my document. Just a sec. Good job, Joe. Way to be on top of it.
When you go play Fortnite with Brad, are you gonna play it on your Switch?
No. I can't. I've played it on my PlayStation before.
Oh, yes, you can't do it.
Done.
Smash is a positive.
Mhm.
I made it a negative last round, but it's a positive. I was disappointed that there was no information on what I was really hoping for out of that whole thing. I've never played the Metroid Prime games.
Mhm. Oh, you're missing out.
I know, and so I was hoping that they would announce a Metroid Prime trilogy to lead
the Switch. That'd be legit.
to lead up to 4.
Still hopeful for that.
So that I could play it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a Wii, they have the trilogy on the Wii.
Well, if you still have your if you still have your Wii U, you can download it from the eShop for like $20.
I don't want to use motion controls to play that though.
Dude, as someone who's played all 3 of them, the controls in 3 and then
actually not bad.
They're the way to do it.
Give me some twin sticks though.
But there's no twin stick in the first 2.
I know. That's why I want it on the Switch.
Hey, you know what? That's what the Joy-Cons. Yeah, just twin stick.
Well, but see, if they put the trilogy, since the trilogy was on Wii, if they put the trilogy on Switch, I'm pretty sure that's what you would get.
Oh, I'm sure.
Full version.
Surely they would allow people to play that with a classic controller.
But I don't know. Anyway. All right. Nolan.
Yeah. So the other thing I'm excited about is this Super Mario Party.
Oh yes.
That I'm really excited about that because I like Mario Party. Granted, in my opinion, they haven't made a good one since like the very early days of GameCube. Like I really only like the first 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially 2. Oh, but
it's amazing.
This one looks pretty good, and it also looks like you're going back to the original way you'd go around the map instead of hey, everyone's in a car, we're just gonna go through this. And it kind of, because that was really dumb on the last couple of them, and it looks like it's more like you're back to everyone separate trying to go around the board.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited about that. So
I will say the one thing that impressed me looking at the Mario Party thing. Did you see the segment where they took 2 switches and lined them up?
That looks so cool.
Oh,
and then
my
they did
gosh.
this swipe to line it all up.
This is where this connects. Oh my gosh!
I need 8 friends with Switches and a massive.
Yes,
that was impressive.
That looks so cool. Yeah, so that's part of it. I'm like, that looks really nice, and I'm excited that that's going to be.
Yeah.
As for dislikes, I mean, I had one. I don't. It would probably be. I mean, I agree with the Metroid Prime situation that it's kind of a bummer that it wasn't on there.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I mean, yeah, I didn't really have anything really big that that I didn't really like about it. I didn't watch it, unfortunately, because I was at work literally all day on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I missed the entirety of it. So yeah, I don't really have anything else bad to talk about. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, that's pretty much it. It was just probably just that Metroid Prime
Didn't show up.
Yeah, they didn't show up either in a trilogy or in just showing more about 4. So
Cool. All right, Anifix. Let's
You
try
know?
and do this quick so we can let people go because it is getting late. So
Well, here's quick. I think I said my piece.
okay.
Oh, you know what? The bad thing. I'm sorry. I just remembered what it was. It was the Let's Go Pokemon. Like, and I'll just in the effect that they're making it that you're catching them as if it's Pokemon Go, which annoys me, and the fact that there's no randomness to that, which although is annoying when I'm trying to go somewhere and all of a sudden doodly doodly happens. The fact that they're changing it like that for this kind of bugs me, even though I have been looking forward to a Pokemon Yellow remake for a very long time, and the fact that they're doing it with this kind of really upsets me. So,
All right, I'll go real quick. Things I liked. I made a quote joke a couple of days ago talking about Smash Brothers, but I'm going to bring it back up. The fact that there's a big emphasis on echo characters in Smash Brothers gives me hope that I'll get my dream of Shadow the Hedgehog and Silver the Hedgehog being in Smash Brothers, because that would be awful because those characters are just stupid, but they need to be
like
Hey,
palette
to
swaps
interrupt,
for
I know
Sonic.
you guys are finishing up, but I'm stealing this one away.
okay. Bye, Clue. Thanks for joining
Oh my God, it's
us.
so late.
Yep.
Ah!
All right.
Okay. Well, it was fun.
Yes.
Bye, people.
Next time.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, so that, and then I'm disappointed. Okay, so this is gonna sound like a joke, but I'm kind of almost serious because I think it would be amazing. Battle Royale in Smash Brothers and or Mario Kart. Imagine how chaotic and amazing that would be. 100 cart battle mode.
I can see that with
in
the
Mario Kart. Yeah, that would be amazing. And then 100.
I mean, I'd play it, but no.
And then 100 human controlled characters in one Smash Brothers fight.
That would actually be ridiculous.
Tell me how this is a bad idea. Tell
that
me
would
how
crash.
Because with 8 people, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
no.
I was gonna say, have you played 8-person
Whoever
Smash?
spams
It's
the most
nuts.
Smash moves wins. There's no technique besides that.
No, a single Falcon Punch will eliminate half the field.
Well, yeah, just like,
That's the other thing. Like, in order to do that, you'd have to have a huge arena to play this in. Like,
I know. And then like the screen would just focus on
like, or Fortnite, you'd have this giant map, and then like the circle just grows slower, and then you get them out by.
That's exactly it.
But then that would not be Smash anymore, though. It would just be Battle Royale with Nintendo people.
Super Smash Royale.
So anyway, I would what is it? Nintendo All-Star. What was that PlayStation game? But you just put Nintendo where PlayStation is.
Oh, PlayStation All-Star, yeah.
Battle Royale, whatever. So anyway, like I said, like I'm kind of joking, but at the same time, I would play the crap out of both of those. So,
that's fair.
Yeah. All right. One other thing that I wanted to bring up, and I saw this on, if any of you are familiar with the YouTube channel Spawn Wave, I don't think he was the one who broke it, but he's the video that I saw it on. Apparently, Fortnite supports native voice chat from the Switch console itself, and you don't need the phone app. And this is supposedly a thing that Nintendo has slowly been rolling out to other developers and just hasn't talked about it. So it kind of snuck up on everybody and was a surprise when Fortnite released. So
I'm saying that there's a microphone on this.
Well, like you got to have a headset.
Spying on me.
Oh,
anything I say.
But apparently the headphone jack has the extra ring for a mic input. So that's interesting.
Huh.
So there you go.
Actually, I think it might be the case that maybe they were telling us about it through the phone app, but no one uses a phone app.
We all just missed. Yeah. So So that was exciting. Also, I saw a thing on a YouTube channel, Wolf Den. If any of y'all are familiar with that, he showed something that I didn't see Nintendo talk about when he was playing his Smash Brothers. Apparently, when someone gets knocked out of the screen, but they're not KO'd, a little box in the top right corner shows up to show you where you are in relationship to the KO wall.
Which is really cool.
wow.
I saw them show that off when it was like in the finales in the Zero.
Oh, okay.
Versus,
So
MK Leo.
but that's
And
how I found
that
out
happened
about
a lot,
that.
and I was like, whoa, that's sick.
But like I said, we will undoubtedly do an episode later that is all about Smash Brothers, because I'm sure we could talk about that for a long time. But it is very late here, especially on my side of the country.
Yeah, geez.
It's going on 11 o'clock.
Like
It was yeah. So I want to go ahead and let everybody do their plugs. I'll let the CFG guys go first because you remember the things that are at the end better, I think. So Ned, where can we find you on the internets?
You can generally find me under my gamer tag Dynamo Ned. You can also find me on Tuesday nights on the CrossForge Gaming Twitch channel. I'm currently playing my way through Fallout 4, which I guess I'm going to have to pick up on that so I can be ready for 76 when it releases in November.
Right?
Indeed. Nolan.
You can find me at Baseman214, Baseman21491, or Icy White Falcon on various internet things. And one of them, usually you can see my face, and that's what it is. On Thursdays, like today, specifically after we're done, I'm basically going to be starting almost immediately. I am playing through Bloodborne right now. So I'll be doing that as soon as we're done here. I'm probably going to take a quick break to go.
Yeah, we've been on here for like 3 hours.
So, but yeah.
Sweet. Anifix?
Well, you can find me in most places by my username Anifix, mostly here, but chances are I'll find you first.
Ooh. All right. I'll do my spiel real quick, and then I'll give it to Shelly and Joe. You can find me right here on the CrossForge Gaming Podcast 2 times a week over on YouTube. Normally it gets cut up into things, but since it's E3, we're doing things differently, so you'll just see this whole video. The audio version of the podcast is over at patreon.com/CrossForgeGaming. It's free. You don't have to pay. We just use Patreon because they're a free podcasting platform, unlike other things that we have to pay for. So go check that out. But if you want to give us money, we're not going to tell you no. Your bank might if you have no money in the bank, but we're not going to argue with you. You can also find me hosting Community Game Night every Friday. I'm not on tomorrow night because I've given it over to Darman so that I can have a break because I've been doing E3 all week. So he and Anifix, you joining him tomorrow for Borderlands?
More than likely, yes.
Yeah. So they're playing Borderlands. We're going to play Jackbox Party Pack next week. And
wait, Borderlands tomorrow?
No, the pre-sequel.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have it on. I don't have it on my PC, so I'm like, so I don't have it. So I'd have to download it and then make a new character, and you guys probably wouldn't. I do too well. So
stuff. All right, Shelly, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on the Geeks Under Grace Twitch channel every Friday night. So tomorrow is one of those nights. I've been streaming Okami HD.
Nice.
So I'll
I
also just played Hollow Knight on Switch today, and I've been playing a lot, so I might play that, but we'll see. It's probably gonna be Okami though, because I'm getting closer.
It's so good.
At that game, but like I'm making progress. I'm not even that far, honestly. But yeah, you can find me there. You can find me at the Geeks Under Grace podcast as well. We release those on Wednesdays on iTunes and Podbean, I believe. So you can find us there. So yeah.
Cool. And Joe, where can we find you?
I'm on Twitter at Joe Knows Games. Of course, I'm writing over at geeksundergrace.com, doing reviews and things like that, and on the Geeks Under Grace podcast.
Yes. All right, that's going to do it for us. I'm going to let our panelists go because it's getting late. I love you all. We'll see you here tomorrow for, well, if you're not watching Shelly, we'll see you here tomorrow for Borderlands, and we'll see you around at all the places that we exist. Love you guys, and we will see you all later. Have a good one.
Bye.
How do I follow that?
Well, you could always say, "Forge on, humans."
Good old
Yep.
John.
Come on. You know I live just to mess